a hospital on their EMS side. Business victory, I would say business victory would be creating partnership. I created a partnership with a credible investor who's looking for help on their acquisition side.
Dude, good stuff, man. Congrats on the job application and congrats on the JV opportunities over there. Katrina, where you at? Long time no see. Personal victory and business victory.
Um, Business victory. I'm being more consistent with the business and putting 4 hours, at least 4 hours a day to cold calling. Um, Personal victory. I'm single.
Oh, congrats. We broke up with that trash ass boyfriend. There we go. Get it, Katrina. Katrina's back on the market. That's a victory for the world right there.
Yeah, so that there's that.
Yo, good stuff. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Jose, personal victory and business victory.
Hey, my peeps. So I'm going Maurice's route. I'm getting married, I think, next month.
Yo, congrats, bro.
So,
Congratulations.
but thank you very much. But mine is a little bit challenging because um, I'm in the divorce process right now. It's been like the process been taking for like about a year. You know, it's New York City and we're in COVID and all that. So I'm pushing the courts. So right now we have something going on with the courts, and I have to see if they accept it when it comes to like speeding up the process. So we had to make up some receipts, showing that the rings have been purchased, that we bought the food for the ceremony and all that, so they can push the process because it's been taking forever. But we're gonna do it in my apartment because here in New York City, the courts are closed, and to keep it simple.
There we go.
Yeah.
What about a business victory?
Well, the business victory, I'm working on a deal in Newark, but this deal is from a partner of mine, but I'm helping her out a lot. We're gonna try to do something like highest and best. It's a 2-family, so we're helping out her family member, like in the transition, right? One of her family members that were living in the first floor, they recently passed away. She don't want to deal with the house. She doesn't want to list it, and she's in the process. She's waiting for a couple of things, and we're trying to have her sign the agreement and like sell the house before she moves. So all the funds will get deposited to her account as soon as she moves.
Nice. Yo, congrats, man. Well, congrats on the wedding. That's going to be big and good stuff. I'm glad to hear business is moving forward and you're helping.
Yeah, and also in regards to my business, so one good thing which I feel like a little bit like so I got moved to another location because remember here in New York City I'm a corporate security officer, so I was moved to another location where I could do a lot of follow-ups. It's going to be quiet for the next 2 months, so I got 2 months to try to like hammer it as much as I can. It helps me out. It helps me a lot.
Awesome. So you guys hear that? If you got to send some leads Jose's way, Jose's going to have that time and silence for it.
Yeah.
So Frankie, yo, what's going on, brother? Let's get you unmuted. Let's hear a personal victory and a business victory.
What's up, family? So my personal victory, I'm trying to finish a book a month. So today I just finished Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. Really good book. So I could start rocking few. That I take that as a personal victory. Business, I've been working on that million leads list that some of us purchased. Yeah, so I've been dealing with that for a while. Hire VA at the same time, and it's been 2 weeks and a half with nothing. But finally this week we broke through, and I have an appointment tomorrow. So hopefully I could close that and get my first deal, man.
Headed, man. Good stuff.
Where?
It's out here in Tampa. I'm actually visiting family in Tampa right now, so I'm enjoying the weather. I didn't like what New York was going through. So I fell over here at the right time, bro. that right time. He said, come check it out. And I'm like, oh, no problem. It's an hour away from where I'm at, where my sister lives, but I'm happy. I'm excited.
There you go. Lock it up, man.
Thanks.
All right, Sal, what do we got, brother? Personal victory and business victory.
What's up, people? Personal. Well, I actually went on a diet. I'm not a big guy, but I am turning. I'm 50 now, and I got a little belly. So I went on a diet about a week and a half ago, and lost 9 pounds already.
Yo, good stuff, man.
So about 8 to 9 pounds. I'm doing. If anybody wants to know, it's a 5-2. It's called really a fasting diet. So 5 days a week, you eat normal portions. We have to stay under 2,000 calories. That's what a normal man is. A woman, I think they said 1,800 or something. So if you stay under it, instead of eating Big Macs and, big ass heroes like I used to do. So you eat normal, and then 2 days, you only stay at 500 or 600 calories. So it's a little harder, but it's only 2 days a week. And I did it for a week and a half. I'm like, damn, I lost 8 pounds already. I can't believe it. 8 pounds, bro. I'm not a big guy. I'm a little guy. So I went from 180, 187 to like 179.
Yo, congrats,
in a week.
Man. That's big,
I mean, that's not a big. I'm not a big guy, right? 179 is not a big guy, but I'm going to get down to at least 170. I'll try to get down to 170. So that's my personal business. I got a lot of good leads coming up. I'm working some Airbnb type angles to these leads. I'm working some other guy who's way overpriced, but I'm trying to get terms. And if I get the terms, I don't care what the price is. And then more on the personal side, business side, I started looking into more VAs, how to set up that conveyor belt. So I was actually talking to Shai 2 days ago, and I was asking her about her VAs and how she gets them, because my original VA was more personalized. Like I gave her an app to a cell phone, and then she calls in from there, and then she kind of answers the phone and stuff like that. So it wasn't one of those Mojo type VAs, So I think I'm gonna have to get more of a, Filipino type, VA where they're gonna, I pay a little bit less but get more hours out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'm getting that conveyor belt ready, baby, and I'm gonna start pushing it. I had a 2-hour talk with Eddie Charger today. I actually gave him some advice, and he gave me some advice. So we're getting that conveyor belt, bro. The last 2 weeks really. I mean, between even you, I think when the meeting like 2 weeks ago, you were like, damn, there's a whole lot of nuggets that we had. And you were like, all right, I need to focus how to do it. And now I'm getting the VAs ready. Acquisition is going to be a little hard. I mean, listen, I know Nate, we were talking like a week or two ago. I don't have those leads yet, but once I start cranking in those VA leads, if you're free, I'll give them to you. Jose, if you're free, I'll give them to you, because you can't, if you have 10 leads a day and you only get a hold of 5 of them, that means you have 5 you didn't get a hold of, right? So if you get 10 the next day, you got 10 plus the 5 you never got a hold of. Now you got 15, and then it could snowball effect on you,
Oh, and we're going to get into that, because that's going to be something where we at the end start getting into everyone's wants and needs and how we can help each other out.
So that's my goal. My business was, I actually did a lot of research, and I put an ad out for VA. Listen to this on Facebook. Virtual assistant, and if you do in a search bar, like a whole bunch of little things come up. So it was a virtual assistant jobs or something. They have like 20,000 members in there. I put a post looking for a VA. I got so they didn't put the postage. It was like your post is pending. I'm like, all right, whatever. They must have released the post at 7:00 in the morning. I swear to God, bro, I got 30 emails of VAs trying to get a job. I'm like, damn.
They are hunting. They're working.
And if you put real estate in your post, I got a good, like I just went through them real quick. I got like 5 actual VAs who did real estate before. They send you recordings of how they talk.
Yep.
I'm like, this is insane. This is great. So that's a good business start for the.
What's the average they charging you?
Wait. Let's hold it. We're going to hold those questions, because I do just want to quickly get through everyone. So we're going to finish this up in the next 3 minutes. All right. So guys, in 30 seconds or less, I want to hear your personal victories and your business victories. We got Olga up. What up, Olga?
Hey guys, how's it going? So, I guess personal, we got a puppy about a week ago. It's been a little crazy over here in the household, but he didn't have any accidents today in the house. So that's a victory for us. I'd say super cute. Business victory, I guess more on the operational side with some of, we had some bad weather here in the Pittsburgh area over the last week or so. You guys probably had it in New York as well. But a lot of snow and ice, and had some leaks and roof damage at one of my properties. And so trying to figure that out, and finally got a roofer out there today, and it's not too bad. So that to me was a victory. A little more on the operational side versus the leads.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a victory right there. That's a new experience, and that's a new contractor in your book.
Yep, exactly. It's a new guy that I found. So I'm happy about that.
Awesome. All right, Lamar, what's going on, bro? Let's get 30 seconds or less. Personal victory and business victory.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Personal victory. I got a promotion at my job, and yeah, man. And I got back in the gym finally, so I'm excited about that. And then business victory. I just been staying consistent with my follow-ups, and I got a lead right now who's really interested in subject to. He just wants to get rid of the property. Just waiting on his mortgage information. So,
Good stuff, man. All right, Tanisha, what up? Hope you're there. Personal victory and business victory.
Personal victory, my daughter's feeling much better. And business, I got a VA on board.
Ooh, expanding. Property sharks are expanding. All right, Andreas, personal victory and business victory, please.
It's actually Jessica. I forgot to change.
What up, Jess?
How are you? Personal victory. Let's see. I'm on maternity leave now. So I've been organizing baby girl stuff, and I'm getting that done. And business victory, I started the Daily Dial with you guys a couple days ago. So I'm getting a lot out of that. And yeah, I'm ready to ready to role play tomorrow morning.
Yo, let's get it. Let's make it happen. And you're making those calls in the real world too, right? You start down there?
Yeah. I hit it on Monday, but it'll be better once I get some more role play in.
Awesome. Yo, we had Nathaniel started up, and we're going to jump over Caroline because she's our special guest, but we're going to get back to her. We got Shy. Shy, hook us up. Tell us some good news, personal victory and business victory.
Peace, fam. Personal victory, I met an all-time high, literally a high, just doing my breath work. So that's a big victory for me. And then business victory, shout out to Sal and telling me to just start throwing out offers, because that kind of forced the sellers that I was talking to really get serious about talking to me, and it pushed me forward to the negotiation phase instead of staying in that weird building rapport stage. So shout out to Sal for giving me that advice yesterday.
Did it work?
It made a huge difference.
Did it work? Nice.
It sure did. Yep. So thanks.
Yeah. That's awesome. And we're definitely going to have to bring that up again a little later tonight, because making offers, there is a time and place for it, of course. So let's get our last girl in here, or guy. Who is that? Namil? I don't think I know Namil. Yo, Namil, you there?
You know Namil.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't see a picture. Namil, I got to see your face, bro.
No, bro,
another day. I'm working right now.
You don't want to see his face, bro.
Come on,
Sal,
dog.
what's
Visual,
happening?
man. I can't, your box has got an A. The name's Namil. I'm drawing a blank right here, man. I'm about to go to Facebook. I gotta look at a face as you talk. But yo, personal victory and business victory, bro.
Personal victory, I guess I would say I finally got my wife to start working with me. You know, I needed the help, much needed help. And business victory, finally got a deal about to close, got another offer accepted by a bank. Now I just got to come up with the funds.
Hey, there we go. Amen, man. Glad to hear it. Yo, so guys, first off, thanks everyone for sharing the good news. All right, that's how we want to get this stuff started. But today we got a sick guest. You know her from the Daily Dials. She is the Ginger Ninja. The first time she ever came on to a Pace Morby call, this girl brought in a freaking deal that is turning into a whole development. She came out of left field and has been crushing it ever since. Caroline, we love you, we hate you, we miss you. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Northeast Accountability Call.
Thanks, Marlon. Hey guys, how's it going? I think I've interacted with most of you before, but it's awesome to be in here and joining you guys. I know Olga, I know Shai, I know Sal, what's up? I've interacted with Nathaniel and Jose. I haven't talked with everybody, but I want to get to know all of you guys. I heard Jessica talking about coming into the Daily Dial, so I'm really just here to like help wherever I can. It is still light out here in Arizona. It looks like you guys are all cozied up at home, but yeah, like yeah, sounds like it's dark as heck out here. But yeah, so I am also a sub 2 student, and if you guys just keep staying consistent and stuff, doors will open for you. I mean, I know Marlon's doing his podcast because of my interaction with Pace when he was doing seller calls. We are doing an RV development in Houston, which I actually got from a mistake when I was reaching out to sellers. So I can talk about that really quickly, and I can jump into the Daily Dial and answer questions for you guys. But yeah, I actually didn't start getting into real estate until June of 2020. So I'm really new to real estate. I did the TTP program. Before that, I was like doing YouTube University, checking out Max Maxwell. I actually got into Max Maxwell's REI Rail, and I was really interactive on that. And I'd go to their Friday lives with Justin and Vince, his integrators. And they gave me a free list of tired landlords in the Houston area because I requested Houston. I had to skip trace it. So I skip traced it on their platform, which was not the best skip tracing platform, in my opinion. I had a lot of wrong numbers, but it actually worked out in my favor. I was texting a guy while I was working another job, and I was like, hey, would you consider an offer on your property at 123 Main Street? And the guy was like, no, I don't own a house over there. And I was like, oh, okay, well, no problem. I'm just looking for some properties that I can work on with my sister. We're investors. If you have any other, properties you're looking to sell, I'd love to have an opportunity to buy it. And he was like, well, my cousins and I are actually looking to sell 22 acres of land. And from there, I was actually signing up to get in on the first deal giveaway that Keen won. So I stumbled into the mentorship by accident. I had actually been interacting with Pace on Instagram, and I think I joined like maybe the September 1st, and then he had seller calls September 3rd. So that was, if you guys get into the seller objection calls with Pace, you'll see that's my first time actually Zooming with him. And I wanted to wholesale the land for myself because I was seeing like a $200,000 plus assignment fee. And Pace ended up scooping that for himself, turned it into an ovation agreement because his mentor built an RV park in Montana. And I'm in the waiting game. It's going to take probably about a year to 2 years for it to all be done. But when it's done and completed, it should be worth like $150 million. So I get to partner with Pace. It's really, I see Katrina's eyes. She's like, whoa, I don't know all the details about it. That's just what I know from his Montana one, but it's a waiting game. So Pace was interested in learning about RV parks. So he took that on for me. So I just want to say, I know he's really busy with the Sub 2 2.0. We don't actually see Pace very often. He and Cody are building out all the modules, but he was mentioning that he's going to bring back the seller calls where he will call sellers for everybody. So the first thing I can give you guys advice on, pay attention to whenever that comes and get your name up at the top. I was actually the second person to be on that call that day, and the first person's seller did not show up to the appointment. So my seller got more time on the phone with Pace. So just little tidbits. If you guys get into the Q&As and you ever want to ask Pace questions, like set a timer so you get in there first. And as soon as you get in, raise your hand immediately. If you guys can get time to talk with Pace, you know how long-winded he is. And because I've been hanging out with him, I'm turning into a long-winded individual as well. But get in there, raise your hand early, and lots of doors will open. But it's just being consistent. So, the biggest thing I can say, working with Marlon and Will, we do our own little accountability stuff on the side, getting like a planner to start like time blocking and staying organized, because I'm not an organized individual on my own. I have ADHD. I have shiny object syndrome. I struggle with procrastination myself. So really seeing what I have to get done and systematizing is huge. I heard Sal talking about like getting that conveyor belt ready to go. And Marlon, and I know this, Will just actually texted us in our group message and said, guys, I love having my business automated because I can go on vacation and it's still running. So the biggest thing that I'm going to just talk here for another few minutes because I want to tell you guys everything I've learned in the last month. But if you guys, I know Pace and Cody are planning on doing a mastermind every quarter. you guys should squad up with somebody and get out here to the mastermind. I got to just help out on it, and I learned more about their business and how I can be a better role player in here to free up more time. So Nick and I run the JV and Dispo department. I actually just got off the phone. I was actually on a Zoom with Nicole Clinton, who's our realtor, who actually gave me access to the MLS in Florida because we work together, and I'm dispoing some deals for her. So I don't know why I'm telling you this, but because we run the JV department. So we work on dispoing deals. So I dispo deals, but the goal is to have everything automated and have a VA running it. So we're only in this for 3 hours a day. So we can do more YouTube lives, so we can get involved in other businesses. Pace wants to build a property management company. So if you guys get everything automated, that'll free up your time to do other things. Like I just looked at Instagram a little bit ago. Pace is playing golf. And I know he's going to have a bunch of Zooms the rest of the week. So get everything automated so you can have less time in your business. You're up at 30,000 feet and you can go get other businesses. But I want to come back to, if you guys have the opportunity, 100% come out to the mastermind. Their biggest thing was getting clarity and helping people understand how to make their business successful so they can go and start other businesses. It blew my mind. They try not to like start a business from the ground up. What they do is they buy title companies that are already functioning and they just get a paycheck from it. So it was really neat. And getting to see, like, Jamil came in, I learned some extra stuff about comping properties. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chinese drywall in Florida or like the 90s. So Sal is probably familiar with this. In the 90s, there was a boom. And this is what I learned from Jamil at the mastermind. There was a boom with real estate. It was in the 90s, Sal, or the early 2000s? 90s? Yeah. So in the 90s, there was such a big boom for needing drywall. America, so we mainly get our drywall in the United States and Canada, but because there was such a big boom, we were running out of drywall. So they bought it from China. And they used it in Florida. And it's so humid there, they actually put sulfur in the drywall. So everybody's houses smelled like farts. So when it would get humid, everybody wanted to move out of their house because it smells so bad. So people would have to redo their houses. So these are just cool little things that you get to learn when you talk to somebody who knows how to think like an appraiser when you guys get into comping. So when you look at houses from the 90s in Florida, you're like, oh, we're going to have to replace the drywall there because it smells like farts and people want to move out of there. So you have to think about the cost of, like, there's just little things that I learned at the mastermind that blew me away. And then of course you get like hot seat time with Pace and Cody. It's worth it. I think it was around like $12,000. If you guys can have a partner go in there with you, totally worth it. Huge. I would highly recommend it. And then I can kind of go into the daily dial, but I see Jose has his hand raised. So what you got, Jose? What's up, man?
Hey, thank you very much for this. You know, I saw your a Zoom that you did when you got the deal and the Pace partnered with you. And I also saw the Zoom when Pace was explaining how he partnered with the guy in Montana. Like,
oh yeah.
Broke it down, like how much money he made on a deal. That he found, I think the guy, he found like a hedge fund that bought the thing.
And wasn't even completed, right?
Absolutely. He made like, I think $100 million or something like that, or 50 million.
And he put 500, I think he put 500,000 into it and made, I don't know the exact numbers because that was before I was actually in the mentorship and I haven't gone through and watched every recorded Zoom call, but guys, like, same thing with passive income. Like if you can own an RV park, you're making a ton of money. Do you have more to say about that, Jose? Do you know more about the deal?
No. I just wanted to ask you. I just want to let you know that like what you explained, I know about it. But my question is, so about the seller's call. So I know that after 6 months, Pace said that he doesn't want people that after they have 6 months not to get on the calls. How's that going to work?
The live Zooms. I think you can't be in the live Zoom. So after 6 months, I think this is how it works. And I actually don't work for sub2.com. I work for American Home Offers. So I work for the entity that wholesales properties and stuff. And then obviously I go into the daily dial and everything, but I don't know how all of that works, but I'm pretty sure it is. If you've been in for 6 months, you can't get into like the beginner Q&A Zoom on Tuesdays, but you'll still be able to watch them. You just won't be able to get into the live Zooms and ask questions. But you know how Pace is. He goes above and beyond. I'm sure he'll find a way to make 1,000 people be available into a Zoom at some point so people can get in there and ask questions.
Yeah. I know he's doing that right now so that he could develop a relationship with the newer students that are coming in, because ultimately he hasn't had the time to get to know any of them yet. So he just wants to make sure he has a fair opportunity to get to know them and meet them where they're at.
Yeah, all you OGs got all the time at the beginning. Get out of here, Jose. You had one-on-ones and there's like 10 of you on Zoom for 8 hours.
I understand, but I'm paying close attention of when he started making the calls because I know that's important.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, when I got in, I think they posted it on Facebook and I just got in there immediately and chimed in on it. So I was just, it's probably going to be maybe a month or so until that happens. I know that we're still recording stuff. Nick and I are going to be recording stuff here soon. But I would pay attention whenever you see announcements on Monday and Tuesday, guys. Pace will post on Facebook like what the schedule is for the day. So I'd go in there and figure out which Zooms are going to be beneficial to you. And make that work for you. I think Marlon does this, and Keston really told me that he did this. I don't know if you guys know Keston is it Glasgow? And in Georgia, his main thing was he joined the mastermind, or he joined the mentorship because he wanted to learn how to do subject to. So before he joined, he focused solely on wholesale. He wanted to know everything he could do for wholesale. Then when he joined the mentorship, he just focused on only sub two, so he can be perfect at that. Don't try and wear like 18 hats. I'm going to do a little bit of wholesale. I'm going to do a little bit of sub two. I'm going to do a little bit of novation. Try and get one thing down and understand that really well so you can move on to the next one and master that, and so on and so on. Same thing with your conveyor belt and automating your systems. Like I said, I have a Google Drive with everything for Dispo. I was recording some Loom videos just so our VAs can do it. I have a VA that I've been training. Nick and I actually share. He's calling realtors this week. But by the end of the year, I'm going to have him trained so he can dispo all of our properties to our buyers and I don't have to. So that's where we're on track to do that. He's going to have those relationships and I'm going to train him how to talk to them. So VAs are amazing. I heard Sal mentioning, finding VAs on Facebook. I don't know if you guys have been watching Matt Beard's videos, but every day at 9 a.m., he does a 30-minute Zoom with his VAs. It's kind of just like, what are your wins from the last day? And then like on Tuesdays, they do call calibrations. So if you guys take the time to invest in VAs and treat them, I would honestly say I almost treat my VA like a child of mine. Like I want to make sure that he flourishes and grows because he's going to be an extension of me and he's doing a great job. He actually knows how to pull lists he actually can find cash buyers on batch leads and on PropStream. He can skip trace them. He can load them up into a dialer, call them. He knows how to insert them into our Podio buyer's web form. And he actually knows how to comp a little bit. Like if you spend the time teaching them, they can do a ton of stuff. They're not robots, but they're people and they are really driven. And also Pace, I don't know if you guys caught the last Q&A last week or whatever, but he was talking about the difference between when Tino was on the team, what he was paying Tino and what they're paying assignment fees to VAs right now. So like Tino was making 20% on each deal. And now the VAs are really happy with like a $200 assignment fee. So that changes your expenses. And I'd highly recommend if you guys don't have VAs, squad up with somebody, share the cost of a VA, because if you train them correctly, they will blow you out of the water. Shy, I see you have your hand raised. What's up, girl? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. So don't judge me. Don't y'all judge me. My question is, what is the ultimate goal in calling up all of these real estate agents? Are you looking to build, is that supposed to be a part of the dispo or?
Great question. Yeah, so it's going to be both. It's going to be dispo and JV. So we want to see if they can bring us leads because I don't know if everybody knows, but Pace and Jamil just signed a contract to be on A&E and they're going to shoot a TV show. It's about fix and flips. And the market is hot. So we need more fix and flip opportunities. So we're looking for realtors to not only bring us, we'll make sure that they get their finder's fee or assignment fee, however it works out on each deal. But we're looking for them to bring those one-off buyers. So Cody Barton's mom is actually a realtor. And she has these buyers that buy one property about 80% ARV every year. They save up their money and they buy one rental and they'll just spend 80% ARV on a property. And they're just looking for, cash flow of $200 a month. So realtors have those connections. And we're looking to find those one-off buyers, and the better network you have, the better, it can help you. Keegley, I know, sends out to their franchisees. They send about 1,000 to 2,000 new buyers that have been vetted in their market every week. So Keegley, and that's something that Nick and I are building out right now. We're trying to build out a section for us to have a buyer profile. So if I have a property, say I find a property that's burnt, I can have a tag on my cash buyers and I can say buys burnt properties. So I know, hey, this property's over here burnt. I don't know. We have so many buyers in the area. I can just search through that and then keep that relationship going with them. We're going to get that automated. So it can be a timer of, hey, check in on this cash buyer, see if they're looking for anything, just keep the rapport building. So you constantly have buyers buying in different areas. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Another one that'll buy with higher AR, like closer to ARV, will be hedge funds. So if you guys get those relationships with hedge funds, they will spend more on properties. I mean, did I help? Did I answer your question for you, Shai? Basically, we want them to leads, and then we want them to help us dispo properties sometimes.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I remember when Pace released the realtors list to the entire group, and I'm like, why am I calling them? So
yeah, so, I mean, it's all about how you approach it. You guys remember, realtors are really just in it for their commission. So we've had a few I spoke with a realtor the other day, and they're like, well, it doesn't sound like you guys are going to pay me. And like, I opened up with, we're going to make sure that you get paid. So a nice thing, I don't know if you guys, I know we do this is East Coast, but if you guys don't know Ty Guerrero for the West Coast, if you guys can't get on the East Coast daily dial time, about 2 hours later, and next week it'll actually be right after the East Coast daily dial. Ty Guerrero goes on for the West Coast daily dial with me, and he had a great line today. I think it was, people say, what is it? Let me find it and tell you guys. I just like the line. A confused mind always says no. So I just want, that was one of those things. We're going to do call calibrations with Harold. Our VA, he just started calling realtors this week because we've been focusing, look at that little gnat in here. We've been focusing on building out it's right in my eye. Focusing on building out our systems. And I was having him call cash buyers because we had a few deals. But I need to make sure that Harold understands how to overcome those objections. So back to with your VAs, not only do I role play where I'm a tough seller, or I have a complicated, I'm a buyer that's too busy to listen to a Filipino with an accent. I let him switch positions to where he's actually the buyer, so he can go through the objections that he has, and I can show him how I overcome it. And we record that so he can listen to it over and over. That was a great way for me to learn. Originally, when Will and Marlon were just doing the role plays and I was jumping in, I would be a seller a lot because I was new and I wanted to learn how other people would overcome those objections. So when you guys do get into the daily dial, if you guys do accountability role plays in here, bring in those objections that you've had on the phone and role play them with Sal. Be like, Sal, I need you to be a buyer. Show me how you'd go over these objections. And Sal's a great closer. You can get tons of feedback from him. So I would recommend doing that with your VAs when you have them in. And a big thing as well, now that I'm talking about VAs, I'm going off your realtor tangent. VAs, I mean, I just showed honestly, my VA at the beginning, when he started working with me, he was really deflated. He was a cold caller and he wanted to be a lead manager closing deals. And Matt Beard pushed him over with me because he thought he was really good on the phones, but wasn't quite there yet to be a closer. And when I kind of gave him like clarity and guidance of what our overall plan was, and that there was opportunity for him to grow with us, to have other VAs under him. And I started like asking him, what were his goals? What are his aspirations? I would do level 10 meetings with my VA. He actually sends me, let me see, I'll pull it up over here. He sends me a start of day and an end of day report. Actually, I'll see if I can pull up his information on my Google Drive, but we actually put down, again, I'm ADD. I have if it's a thing with ADHD, you have object permanence. So if you don't see something, you'll forget it's there. So if I don't see a gallon of milk in the fridge, I'm going to go out to the grocery store and buy another gallon of milk, even though it was behind the lettuce or whatever. So it's just something with ADD. I want to train him the same way. Here it is. Marlon, can you give me access to share my screen?
Of course.
Cool. So I actually had him put down his goals on his start of day and end of day report. So this is my VA start of day and end of day report. So you can see he does a Zoom with us and a huddle. Every day he does that with Matt. But I put these down for him because I wanted him to be, he's looking at this. He has like our little Zoom calendars on here. Or I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's a Zoom calendar. But like, these are the priorities we go over at the beginning of the day. Usually there's a few more. Today we've actually given him a different schedule, so it's already built out. But yeah, I wanted him, he wants to be able to speak English without an accent. I want him to see these goals so he can reverse engineer them back and forth. And just, this is what he gives me.
Wants to make grandma proud? That's fire.
Yeah. So he was raised by his grandma. He wants to take his grandma to Japan. He wants to take care of her. He actually wants to get some rentals and stuff. So like showing interest in my VA and having this up here every day, he works really hard. And like he's like, I'm so happy that you're my manager, that we're teammates in this together. And like we obviously have a bond. Like I love working with him. He's like seriously the hardest working person. I love my VA. I will go through fire for Harold. Harold is the best. So if you give the time and you like, he just made this whole spreadsheet up himself. But I was like, hey, originally I just typed over here, you rock or whatever. Rock, what are your goals? And then he made it all nice and neat. But yeah, I mean, I would 100% say if you guys get VAs, there we go, right there. I would say just spend the time, connect with them. I asked him to make a KPI chart for when he's cold calling, for what he's getting with realtors. He knows how to make ads in MailChimp. He knows how to send those out. I mean, if you focus on one thing and make sure that they're efficient at it, they can add on more tasks. We're like, this originally only started with these two little charts. So we're going to be getting another VA that can just strictly cold call realtors and see if they're interested and things like that. But does anybody have any questions about this? I know I can get really long-winded, Shy, and I apologize if I got too far off task.
No, you didn't. That was super helpful. I'm actually going to steal something like that. I do an end of week report with the VA, but I'm not doing an end of day report with her.
Every day, 100%. You guys should do a start of day for sure and role play. So like the daily diet, I actually feel like I know somebody made a Facebook post. Ben Pilarski. He's like, I missed Monday and I felt like I was cheating on you. I was like, if I don't have the daily dial and I don't get to write down my routine, I feel out of funk. Every day with my VA, well, generally it's at 9 a.m. Ooh, we can go back to 9 a.m. now because time change happens next week. But I was doing it at 10 a.m. this week because I added on the West Coast Daily Dial. I role play with him just so he's ready to get on the phones with people. And we go through a few different role plays. I ask him about his day, things like that. But I highly recommend doing a start of day role play with him. And then we just message. We just message through Slack. So here it is. Let me share my screen again. So here's my Slack right there.
So you're doing how long are the role plays in the morning? You're just doing like 1 or 2 role plays?
Yeah, so I'm generally on a Zoom with him between 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So this is our Slack. I know we as students have just switched over to Discord. I haven't messed with it much. Reagan was telling me that Discord is really nice, and she's going to send me a video of how to use it. But you can just see, here's our start of day and end of day report.
No, we don't see it. Is anyone else not seeing the screen?
Oh, no, it's not
She
sharing.
says she started sharing, but it's
Yeah, it's just a black screen still.
It shows me that it's highlighted. Let me try it again. Let's go to, is it sharing now?
It says you're about to share your screen.
It's lit up like it is sharing. You are sharing your screen. Stop sharing. Let me move it over here. Let me move it onto my main monitor. All right. Escape. Where did my, all right, let's see if this will work. Let's go to desktop. Okay, can you see it now?
Nope.
Oh no, it's not letting, well, it's showing me that it is sharing. Hang on, let me leave and I'll come right back. 1 sec, I'll leave the meeting.
Yo, we're losing Caroline.
And what up, Lamar? It's good to see your face, man.
What's up? What's up? How you guys been?
Been pretty
Good.
good, bro.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we got
Congrats on
family
your
back.
promotion.
So hopefully,
Amazing.
hopefully everyone's picking up something from this. We got Caroline back. Hopefully, share her screen right now.
Let's see, can you see it now?
Beautiful.
There we go. See, that's all you got to do, guys. You got to restart. So this is, you can see I have a buyer's pipeline. So every day he'll just kind of tell me what buyers he's gotten. Now we're having him put in the realtors. This is our conveyor belt, so you guys can see what properties we have. He's actually now inputting all of this. I'll go into this a little bit more details, but just so you guys can see what our Slack looks like. So if I go down to my conversations with Harold, we can see that every day he gives me a start of day and an end of day report. So good morning. And then we just, look, we've had 124 messages today and he actually lost power, but I can just kind of see with a snapshot where we're at. Here's his realtors that have called. You can see that we assign stuff in Asana here. I mean, generally I just communicate with him on here, and I'm actually, since I start so early in the day, I leave around between, it depends, every day it varies. Like yesterday, I didn't feel very good because I didn't sleep much the night before, so I left around 3 o'clock and I continued to work from home, but I really didn't interact with Harold at the end of the day much. So you can see I didn't actually message him back until the end of actually I did late last night, but he'll just send me this right when he clocks out. So he's done it. He's from 9 to 6. So yeah, so just, I do a Zoom with him in the morning, and then in the evening, we're only messaging through Slack. And I have him ask all of our lead managers, hey, did you lock up any deals? So he can upload them into our conveyor belt. So I can go over our Slack a little bit more if you guys are interested, but I see your hand was raised, Jose. What do you have? Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what you said about the VAs, to motivate them. So I had an issue with my VA. She was new for about like back a month and a half ago, and I wasn't hearing her motivated through the phones. I was listening to her calls, but I didn't feel her like motivated. So I broke into details with her. I got into a conversation. I started asking her, but why are you not motivated? You don't seem motivated. And she was like, yeah, I am motivated. I said, yeah, but listen to your call. Do you think you sound motivated? And she was like, no, I don't sound motivated. I said, if you don't sound motivated, you're not going to build rapport with someone that wants to sell. And then, I started to get into details, like, what are your goals? Because I wanted to understand why she doesn't sound with motivation. I started asking her, did she go to school? What she wanted to be? And he said, yeah, I finished my high school. I went to college. I wanted to be a teacher. And she was in that process. I said, okay, but how much a teacher makes in your country? And she was like, he gave me the numbers, and then I told her, hey, but doing this, if you do good, you can make a lot more money doing it. So also I started like listening to her calls, practicing with her, role playing with her, and giving her some feedbacks. So I also asked for her goals, what she wants to accomplish. So I'm working with that, and also talked about opportunity. So I told her, hey, you know what? I'm going to be hiring more VAs, and you have an advantage that you have a month and a half with me. So I'm looking for a VA that can manage other VAs. If you do well, I'm going to give you the opportunity to manage those VAs, but you got to prove to me that you're going to do the work. So she's been like 100% after I had that conversation with her. But I'm constantly hearing on her calls, right? I'm monitoring her. Like, she logs in, I verify if she did log in. If she said that she logged in at let's say he said she logged in at 8 and I see 8:15, I say, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? And like, you got to be on top of them. You got to listen to their calls and give them feedback all the time.
100%.
Because if you don't listen to their calls, you don't know what they're doing, and you don't know what they need to improve.
100%. And guys, that's another thing. So like, when you get on a, say you get on a call with the seller, you're going to set the expectation up front. You're setting the rules to the game. Hey, I would like to have 5 to 10 minutes of your time. Remember, we're going to be snipers on the phone when we're talking to sellers. We're not trying to pepper spray them, machine gun it. You don't want to give them too many things. Same thing with your VA. Same thing. Think of like somebody who's giving you instruction. Think of the way Pace lays things out. You want to make it pretty easy for them to follow along. So when you set it up, like, hey, I need you to sound motivated on the phone. Like, I need you, give them, like, don't just be don't try not to be vague. Give as much detail as you can, and then they can go off of that. So, hey, why aren't you sounding motivated? If you could get some inflection in your voice, things that you guys have heard when you're on the daily dial, notes that have helped you get better, do the same thing with your VA, and they're going to definitely go like jump through fire for you as well. So I'm glad to hear that you showed interest in your VA and you are keeping them accountable. That reminds me, at the mastermind, Matt went into detail of what he does on his daily huddles with the VAs, and like, he has everything systematized. He has 2 VAs that upload all the lists for them, that make sure the dialers are running, make sure that they have internet, make sure that they have like electricity, and they have Time Doctor. I believe they use Time Doctor to keep track of their VA's screen. So it'll tell you when they log in, you can see everything that they're doing, what they're surfing on the web. So I was at first kind of skeptical, like, this is me not being like, this is me just being a sub-2 student. I was like, I don't need to spend, $12,000 to go out to the mastermind, but I would definitely recommend you guys squad up, bring out your partner, come learn if you can get into the mastermind. It blew my mind. I'm ready for whenever the next one is. It was really nice. They cover everything: systems, seller calls, making sure you're building your business. Rochelle Jarvis came in, Brent Daniels came in, Jamil came in. I didn't go out to the fix and flips. I stayed here at the office to help with the VA stuff, but like, Pace took people out to the mobile home community that they're building. I mean, I'm only in one of Pace's businesses. He has 12 other businesses. So I'm sure you guys get to see a little bit about those. It was amazing. We played Top Golf one night. It was nice. You guys should, I can't plug it enough. What do you have, Marlon?
Yo, Caroline, I got a question for you. So now that you're out there in Arizona, right, you made the big move from Florida to AZ. How is it physically being in a space with other people? Does it make a difference? And is it something people should look to cultivate in their own community?
100%. So, you know, I would, first of all, when I was in the mentorship, we didn't really have a daily dial. I don't know when I started. I think I started joining into your role plays, Marlon, sometime in October. But there, I didn't go every day because when I came out here, actually, I didn't even join into yours. I think I joined role playing in like November.
Yeah,
in Arizona. So gosh, I think
Kelly when you first jumped on.
Yeah, and Kelly hooked me into that. So it was 4 a.m. our time out here.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and I was like, this is not sustainable for me. I'd fall asleep on Marlon's Zooms and be like, Karen, she can't jump in and be a seller. But yeah, I would say being in this environment. I mean, Nick works 10 feet from me. I learned actually a lot of comping from Nick. It's just great because I'm really excited about real estate. When I hear Pace on the seller calls and he tells sellers, he's like, well, that's okay. You know, I just like talking about real estate. I was like, yeah, sure you do. I'm having fun. Like Nick and I went out to lunch today. We were talking about, you know, like business, how excited we are to have everything automated, what we plan on doing. Like there's just so many doors that open up from this because you can be financially free. And then there's just a bunch of cool stuff. Like I like learning from Matt, what he does with the VAs. Like I'm learning how to coach my VA from watching Matt's. And I saw somebody, now I don't have my chat open. Somebody asked when, I think it was you, Sal, when Matt goes live. He went live today at 10:30 on YouTube with his VAs. And I think he goes live again tomorrow before Nick and I. So Nick and I do a live every Friday at noon Arizona time. So 2:00 your time, which will soon be 3:00 your time next week. And we give away 1,000 records to those who ask the best questions. But right before us is Matt Beard. And he goes on with his lead closer, Ira. I think he rotates through his closer, Ira, and Karen, like his top 2 or 3 VAs, and he'll answer all kinds of questions for you guys. So I think it's on the Creative Financing with Pace Morby page, but if you go on YouTube, it's definitely on VA Hub's YouTube channel.
10 o'clock Arizona time?
I think it's actually 10:30 Arizona time on Thursday and Friday. And I think he has the details on his Instagram handle. But yeah, seriously, being around people and talking about real estate and then getting to go to the meetups. The meetups are really cool. I'm meeting more people from it. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. So if you guys do like Northeast Accountability Group meetups or anything like that, like you guys should maybe even like meetups. We have a bunch of people come out to, and Title Alliance pays for all of it. Get together and do like a meetup like once a month where you guys can have other investors come and you guys can all like build up your cash buyers list from that, or get deals together and maybe work on fix and flips together. I mean, that would be a great opportunity for you to like squad up as an accountability group. So I love it. I'm really glad that I'm out here in Arizona. I am a little nervous for the summer. I've been here through one summer and everybody's just telling me it's hot. So I think I might run away for the summer. Yeah, I like Arizona. I'm an outdoors person. I like to hike and stuff. So I love being out here. And then when I see Pace once a week, it's nice chatting with him. He's always, he's very interesting. He's just as interesting as you'd see on the Zooms. He is a very creative man. So it's really cool. If you guys can come out here, I'd recommend it. Yeah, it's a dry heat. Yeah, I'll be fine. Girl, I was out here 2 years ago in June. I went to the Grand Canyon and we came because my friends live here in Phoenix. And we were only here for a day and their van broke down because they have kids. It was a newer van. I pushed the van like 20 feet from the road to the gas station. I thought I was going to die. It was so hot. Oh my God. There's not enough water I could drink. It is so hot. Man, there's nothing in Oklahoma. Don't go to Oklahoma.
Caroline, I got another question for you, right? Because, really, I've been taking the conveyor belt to heart, right? Really pushing that conveyor belt and ultimately figuring out where to be. So each person is one person. And essentially, if you're going to be in your business at any place, pick a position in the conveyor belt to be. So like right now, I'm looking at you and listening to what you're saying. Essentially, you're at the end of your conveyor belt, or the end of the conveyor belt for American Home Offers as the dispo. So it's you and Keegley, but mainly you. And I don't know if Nick's also in that position. But essentially, is that what people should really be looking to do, locking themselves into a singular position of the conveyor belt? Or like, what do you think about that as you've been utilizing it more?
That's a great question. So I would say, first of all, you guys should all write out the conveyor belt. I think, did Pace go over it last night, or what is today? Today's Thursday. Did he go over it on Tuesday's Q&A?
I don't think any of us were in, or I wasn't in.
Okay. I know.
Briefly in the sales training.
He went over it briefly in the sales training. Yeah. I'm sure he'll go over it a bunch. He actually broke it down for us and he forgot about the story. He went into it in detail at the mastermind as well. So I'm the person at the end of let me rewind. Yes, I think everybody should focus on one part of the conveyor belt. Like give yourself, maybe write it out and figure out what your conveyor belt is and then focus on one portion of it. So lead generation. Where's your lead generation going to come from? Wholesalers that have dead leads. Okay. Focus on that. If you're going to write it all out, focus on that for an hour. You know, every day for 1 hour, you're going to go on Facebook and you're going to find wholesalers that have dead leads that you can work with. Now, you probably want to talk with wholesalers that are knowing how to comp properties. I would not get into working with wholesalers that are going to be sending you leads, because that was what Nick's main issue was. He was dealing with so many wholesalers that were sending him leads, and he spent all of his day comping them, and they weren't deals. So make sure the wholesalers you're talking to know how to run their numbers, and it is actually a dead lead. Like, make sure you're spending that time efficiently, and then eventually you can get a VA to fill in that position. But I would recommend 1 hour a day, get on Facebook, go into a few pages, comment, read, you know, here's my email, send me your dead leads. I can close them and I'm going to give you a finder's fee or whatever you want to say. And then I'd move on to your next box. So lead generation's there. Your next one would be comping the property or locking up the deal. So that's going to come onto you until you get a VA that can close. I will say I spoke with Don Rich, who has a VA actually locking up his deals for him. And he just locked up a $4.5 million, like 175 acre land right by NASA, not far from where Elon Musk is trying to build like the Star City. And they're listing it for like $5.7 million. They're wholetailing that. His VA locked that up. How much? I mean, I don't know. His VA's from the Philippines. Like, that's a really nice spread for a VA. A VA can do that. So if these VAs can do it, I mean, you can get a VA that can do that. And if VAs can do it, you can do it. The thing is, they're getting more reps in. And I'm going to go back to my retired jock high school thing. I played basketball. I had the best free throw percentage on my team. I would seriously, because I was always injured, I kept breaking my feet. I had weird things, but I was really good at free throws because nobody was hitting me. And I could probably pick up a basketball and probably make like 20 in a row right now because the muscle memory is there. I did it for so long since I was like 7. I can do this with my eyes closed. And I'll keep making my free throws. It's the same thing with repetitions with sellers. If you guys get into the role plays, if you role play how to overcome these objections, you won't fumble. Like, how many times you said, "Hi, my name is Caroline." I'm never going to mess that up. I've been doing it my entire life. If you guys get the reps in, you'll get it down and you'll be able to close those leads. So back to my conveyor belt, because I can get off on tangents. So lead generation, closing the deal or comping it, you want to write that out. Then you want to go to title and stuff. So I'm working on near the end of it. I'm actually one of the people, it's like, hey, every day in Slack, well, I'll share my screen again for you guys. Every day in Slack, at the beginning of my day, during usually the daily dial, I'm going into deal flow and I'm saying, hey, where are our leads? Send me leads. Where are the leads? Here's my Pace said. Just bought 10 deals in one day. Who's going to keep up? These are all the deals Pace locked up yesterday.
Damn.
Yeah, he did that by himself. I'm keeping them all. So every day I post this and they tell, like, that's my portion of, that's my job on the conveyor belt. And then once we get it locked up, so here's one, we haven't done this one yet. Nick put this in on 1 o'clock today, but it's going to go into our conveyor belt. Like I said, so at the beginning of our conveyor belt, you'll see it was all me. I was doing all of this. It was just something so Pace could look at it at a snapshot and see what we have. ARV's 350, we purchased it at 170. So you guys can go through, and now I've taught Harold how to do it. So I don't even have to do that anymore. We've changed it a little bit. You can immediately click on our contract. You can see where we're at. This is vacant land we just sold. And you can see, look, we're getting paid on it. So I put a money emoji. We have close of escrow. I can look at this at a snapshot because right now I'm still talking to our buyers. So I can come over to the conveyor belt and I can say, yeah, this is our property. I'm actually, you know what I'd probably do on here? One other thing I'll add is like put down what the property is. So I just happen to know that this is vacant land, but maybe Pace doesn't. So let's put it in here that it is vacant land. So when I'm talking to a buyer, yeah, it's vacant land. It has water and electric. I can look at it from a snapshot and move on from there. But yeah, I mean, you can see our communication on here. Like, here, I'll put vacant land. And then somehow we got off of our private message. But yeah, it's all in here. It's easy to track and pay attention. And again, I can get off. So I'm near the end of it. So I'm focusing on talking to buyers, blasting it out through MailChimp. So yeah, I would say, Marlon, focus on each thing for a little bit, kind of get your overview. And then once you get the hang of it, fill in your pieces. So have one VA focus on mainly finding dead leads, and then have them also cold call those dead leads and see if they're motivated. And then they get the hang of that, add on a little bit more to their plate, and then hire a second VA when that VA can't take care of anything anymore. But not only should you guys be planning your day, you should be planning your VA's day so you can be ready to roll. Let me see. Let me pull off. Let me pull up another screen here.
Yo, Caroline, I freaking love it. You're dropping gems right now over here.
Let me see where this little schedule is that I made for Harold. Here
You
it
know
is.
when your mentorship program starts?
Fire.
There you go. Thanks. Well, I couldn't do this without Pace and Cody giving me these tools. Like I said, I'm not a very organized person. So I made this the other day for Harold. Let me zoom in so you guys can read. Can everybody see this?
Yep.
So every day from 9 to 9:30, he's going to, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, he already has a template from Nick. He's going to send out our texting thing through Textedly to our wholesalers. And it's going to be, hey, what deals do you have that we can work on? And then we do our role play, our daily plan. That should be broken up into, and our weekly overview. We do the weekly overview on Monday, so he knows what his plan is. We're actually going to change this up. This is mainly focusing on realtors for the week, but we're going to trickle in there because I've been displaying most of the properties myself. He's going to add in specific things. So I know he has one break at 11 to 11:15. He gets lunch every day, call realtors, and he's going to send out another campaign before lunch. So when he comes back from lunch, he can reply to those texts, 30-minute day. And then at the end of the day, he does his end of day report where he goes back into Slack, into the deal flow. He'll tag those lead managers and see what deals were locked up so he can put them into conveyor belt in the morning so I don't have to. So I can be on the daily dial and focus on actually listening to the daily dial and things like that. If we do have any deals, he'll set up the MailChimp campaign because most of your buyers are going to check their emails in the morning. So it's more efficient to set a timer and let the emails go out at 7 a.m. So around 8 a.m. or whatever they look at it, they can look at those deals and see if they're interested in them.
So I got a quick question for you. Is your VA part of you? Like, so is your VA coming from like Caroline LLC, or is your VA a part of like American Home Offers as well?
Great question. So it's a VA hub. It's a VA from VA Hub. So he is, I think he is paid. I think American Home Offers pays VA Hub to pay him.
So Caroline is
Esmond real quick.
So you're one of Pace's persons in one of his businesses conveyor belt, basically. So
Yeah.
you actually, he gives you a VA for each, like that's what he hired you for, but now you actually hired an assistant to help you part of that conveyor belt.
Yeah, so he hired me on to do the daily dials because he saw there was a need for it. And then he hired me on to find buyers and just for the deals. But then it was just, we merged with Matt's business and I couldn't keep, I was the only one comping properties. So I took over for Jeff, and then we had about 30 VAs uploading like 5 to 10 properties every 10 minutes. And so I was drowning in comps. We were in 4 different markets, and I was mainly the only one comping properties in Arizona, Georgia, Florida, and then we were in Indiana. And then I was also calling buyers and selling our deals. So if you think about it, Sal, I barely had time to breathe. So that's when we got a VA in, and the VA started calling buyers because I would be on the phone, same thing. I'd be triple line dialing, and it was like some of them were bad numbers or some of them weren't interested. So I don't have to waste my time doing that. That's one of those set it and forget it things. So now Harold will call, and same thing with the realtors. Now Nick is freed up to finish making a course for a comping session so we can get a VA to take over the comps.
Nice.
Here, I'm going to go. So Marlon, do you have another question? I know that Pierre had his hand raised, but do you have anything else for the task?
Pierre.
Okay, I'm going to put my Apple headphones in just so I can hear you guys. I talk a lot and I need a water. So I'm still here, but I'm going to make sure this connects. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Crystal clear.
All right, 1 second. I just switched over. Make sure I'm on here. Okay, say something, Marlon.
Yo, can you hear me?
Perfect, I can hear you. Okay, go ahead. What you got, Pierre?
Hey, what's up, Caroline?
What's up, dog?
So I want to ask you more about a little bit about the KPIs. Like, how do you track, or how are you tracking the make sure that your VAs are kind of staying on track to hit their goals? How do you measure that productivity? Do you have a certain set amount of
Great
numbers
question.
they have to hit per day? Because I know within my system,
Yes.
if they call 100, they have to bring in at least 1 to 3 leads out of those 100 connected calls. So I'm just curious, how do you have yours set up?
Great question. So originally it was kind of based off of what I was doing on my own, how many cash buyers I could get added to our list. And we just kind of reverse engineer it. So I've learned this from Pace and Cody, but I would recommend anything, guys, any goals you have in your life. And I actually broke this down to Harold today for him. He lost power And he's like, I said, oh, well, great. Go take a nap, enjoy your day. And he's like, no, I'm going to wait for the electricity to come back on. I was like, well, hey, why don't you like read a book? Why don't you do some personal development? I said, what are some things that you want to work on? Because I love Harold, but sometimes he has he gets a little shy because of his English. He actually speaks very good English, but he wants to have an American accent. He doesn't have it yet. So I know that was one of his goals. And I was like, okay, so reverse engineer it. And say, for example, you want to run a marathon. And I think maybe a marathon is 24 miles. You need to be able to run 24 miles in a day. This is me just making stuff up. I'm never going to run a marathon. That sounds awful to me, but it's a year away. So you want to be able to run a marathon in 24 miles in 1 year. So let's build it backwards. So 2 months before the marathon, you should be able to run 20 miles a month or 20 miles in 1 day. So that should be 2 months before then. And then 2 months before that, so let's say 4 months before that, you should be able to run 18 or 17 miles. Just keep breaking it down from there. So say that you want to get 100 cash buyers a month. How do you get up to 100? So break it down. I want to have, maybe I'm explaining this incorrectly. We wanted him to break it down, reverse engineer it from there, and say you want 100 a month. Let's break it into 4 weeks. So he should be adding in 25 cash buyers a week. Does that make sense? There we go. I was getting confused. Nick was running around and giving me ADHD. So break it down from there. So if that's what I'm using for cash buyers. Set your goal and reverse engineer it. So if you want to have your VA to bring in 2 leads a day, make sure you're giving him enough data and just keep track of that. So have them put it on your end of day report. Have your VA make a spreadsheet for you. So just at the end of your day, whatever they send, like we use Slack, maybe you use Skype, maybe you use WhatsApp, have them tell you how many leads they got and then just keep track of it. And at the end of your week, you can do an end of week report. Hey, on Monday, you brought in 5 leads, and on Tuesday, you brought in 0 leads. What happened? Were you making your dials? Just, do the time doctor, track their calls, just like Jose was saying. Trust but verify. Like, make sure you set that tone. Hold yourself accountable if you're going to hold your VA accountable. Like, show up on time to your Zooms with your VAs, things like that. Is that helpful, Pierre?
Yes. And then I just kind of really want to know, like, for yourself personally, I know you're doing more dispo. Do you have like a tangible number that you have to reach, like, within the business?
For cash buyers or what? So for us,
like, do you have,
yeah,
I
think
like, let's say every day you got to call, 50 cash buyers or something like that. Like, do you have a number that you have to hit per week for yourself?
That's a great question. So not at the moment. That's something that we're going to be building out. So we grew really fast. We grew too fast and it was too much for me to maintain. So then Pace was like, hang on, let's pump the brakes. Let's make sure that we're setting up our foundation correctly. So he's like, I want you and Nick to make sure that you guys are setting up everything so you can succeed, so you can go and build other businesses with us. So right now I'm doing a few deals. Excuse me, guys. Oh my gosh, I drank a carbonated beverage before the water. So our goal is for our JV and Dispo department to be doing, I think our JV department to be doing $200,000 a month in JVs. So our goal for that is we want to get assignment fees of $200,000 and I get paid a commission off of that when we get set up. So eventually I would probably be, I would like for myself, for Harold, to bring in enough cash buyers for me to call. So I would like to be calling around when we're not sharing him. We're doing this realtors list just because we have a lot of cash buyers at the moment, and we've actually narrowed that down our list. So we're no longer calling Indiana and we're no longer calling Georgia at the moment while the No Excuses program is on pause. So I'm only focusing on Arizona and Florida, which has made it much easier for me to have actually quality conversations. We can learn the market a little bit better. Know, like, okay, houses on this side of Main Street are really discounted because it's a bad neighborhood and it's a hard one for people to buy cash properties in. This one over here, if you can get a property, it'll move quickly. Marlon, I saw you raise your hand. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, with that, actually, I want to hold you on that for a quick second because I don't want that to be glossed over. With understanding a market, right, and working a market and picking a particular area and staying there, how important are you finding that? Is that something that there's emphasis being put on within the operation and within what you've seen yourself?
Yeah, so for me, that's actually something that I do. I want to have that because I'm comping, but not as much. So now, like I said, I actually have Nicole, the realtor that's in Florida. We brought her into Slack. So everything in Florida, she's comping just because I hate Florida MLS and she's really good at comping those and she's helping. So we're giving her a service. We're helping her dispo and she's helping us comp properties. So she's helping us there. But yeah, I would actually recommend, those are the conversations I'm having with our cash buyers. Like Pace says in the mentorship, make those cash buyers like your best friends. Like, hey, how's it going, Marlon? Just checking up. Like, how did you guys do during the freeze in Texas? And just saying, if we're in Texas, like, I know I had family over there. Are you guys fine? Checking in with them, sending, send them over like a gift card, send them over like a bouquet of food or whatever. Have those relationships where they're your best friends, and then ask them those questions. Hey, what zip codes are you trying to buy in right now? What should I be looking out for? What kind of deal should I be sending you? Like, what is your buy box? Is this the market? Like, what is the bad area of town? Like, what are the subdivisions you like to stay within? Tell me the little quirks of your market so I can send you opportunities that make sense and I'm not wasting your time. So yeah, I would say knowing your market is critical. I think it's pretty important. And if you don't know a market, find a JV partner that can help you if you're calling into that area, or reach out on Facebook. But do you have any other questions, Pierre?
No, that answers it. Thank you.
Perfect. Brandon, you've been waiting forever. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on? So I have a few questions. Answer some of them. So a couple of our issues is okay, we're getting these deals in contract. I'm doing dispo as well. So I'm getting to know, quite a few buyers. I'm getting to know what they want, like you just said. So it could be an issue where, I just need to maybe build out our buyers list a little bit. But on you guys' side, do you guys have a set number of buyers who are buying most of your inventory? Or are you just constantly building your buyers list out and then just dispoing it out, say 1,000, 2,000, 500?
Great question. I'll cut you off before you can even finish. Yeah. Can you hear me, Brandon?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we actually have VIP buyers. So that's actually part of Harold's script. I will pull it up just so you guys can see it. Oh, we actually just changed our script last week. But originally it was like, hey, are you good at texting? Because we send text messages out, and we're always, guys, it's not like you set it and you like leave it. It's like you keep it going. What's going on in the chat here?
No,
what are we doing here?
Outside.
Oh,
Yo,
everything's all white.
That dude looks like he's in Miami right now at a white party, bro. I've been to a couple of those in the late 90s, bro. It looks just like that. The shag bed you're sitting on with some white curtains. That's crazy, bro.
He's cozy. But what I wanted to say, guys, is everything's always changing. So be ready to change, be ready to pivot. So we are changing our script with Harold. We're just kind of asking a little bit more in-depth questions when we go through let's see. And this is actually, he created it a little differently. So this is still, we've been tweaking it a little bit, and I haven't even finished because I get started on one task and I get pulled away. So this is my current one, cash buyer script and notes, the expectation. These are just like highlights I wanted to know. Build rapport, compliment if you can make them laugh. Set that expectation with 5 to 6 minutes. But, you were asking me about cash buyers. He has a question on here. Yeah, we've changed up. It used to be, is this a good number to text you at? Because we actually send text messages out to our VIP buyers first. So we do have VIP buyers that buy our properties first. We let them have first dibs on it within like an hour to 2 hours before we send it out into a MailChimp blast. So yes, I don't send it out to 1,000 buyers at once. I send it out to the buyers that help me comp properties. So when I'm in a market that I don't know, I'd be like, hey, Brandon, I know you're buying over here in the Hillside area. I'm looking at a property right here. I have this property. What would you buy it at? I don't even let them know that I don't have it under contract. Hey, Brandon, this property on 123 Main Street. What would you buy this at? And they'd be like, well, ARV's at 200,000. So how much work does it need? Well, it needs a full reno. I'd say it's got mold. Oh, wow. So I'd say I'd probably buy that around like maybe 190 to 100,000. Okay, good to know. And then I can go back and let our people know, like, hey, this cash buyer that I trust, who's been doing this, he's got some skin in the game. He's been in here for a while. He says we need to buy this at, $85,000 to $90,000. Because I want to, if we can get it lower, we can. And that's actually what Matt does. I bring my dog to the office and he wants attention. And that's what Matt does with their VAs. They get these so steep because they set the expectation of just try to get it even lower, anchor lower, so you can get a higher assignment fee. So yes, to answer your question, because I keep going off task, VIP buyers first. And if they're not interested, Then we blast it out through a MailChimp to, you know, our other 1,000 buyers. But yeah, if you don't have buyers in the area, 100%, that's one of Harold's job and his task of his our conveyor belt and how it all works. Like, let me show you guys another thing on here. I have a, this isn't it. Where is it? I need to like color, here it is, a dispo checklist. So
those are the guys just sending Christmas cards, checking in and all.
100%. Hey, how are your kids? You want to go play golf? What's going on? So here's our dispo checklist. I was going to make it into a flow chart, but this is what you should do when I get into dispo. Open escrow, find a wholesaler friendly title, contract EMD, create a property profile. So just like a little, you can either do MailChimp. I don't know if you guys have seen on Facebook. I know now my name's kind of blasted with Daily Dial, but if you look at the post that I made on Facebook, let's do this here. Is it showing Facebook for you guys right now?
Yep.
All right. So if you do this, go to posted by you. Look for, I don't know, JV maybe. You can see I did a JV deal in New Jersey when I was in Florida. Is this it right here? How to find cash buyers on Facebook. Maybe this is it. Yes, right here. I'm going to tag Marlon so Marlon can tag all of you guys on here. This is how I did a JV deal with somebody I found on a wholesaling page, and I made a $10,000 sign-up fee on it. Yeah, the girl didn't have any cash buyers. I posted it on a different Facebook page. I have a great cash buyer now in New Jersey. If you guys need help, it's a New Jersey, and it actually goes over my rinky-dink little explanation of what the property was. It was very basic. It was like, it didn't look fancy or anything. It literally just said property address, room size, details, link to Dropbox, and then it said like, this is an assignment contract asking, you know, like 160 or best offer. But so create your property profile, and then we do EMD just to make sure that they're actually serious and they're not trying to daisy chain us. It has to be $3,000 to $5,000. Then find a buyer. So no buyer. So then I just kind of break it down. No list, have a list, build a list. No list, find recent local investors in the area. So, you know, go on to Batch Leads or whatever. Already have a list, reach out to your existing list of buyers. VIP buyers gets first eyes on the property. Then we do MailChimp and we send it out through a texting campaign. Harold makes those for me now after we have access to photos. And actually Harold now is reaching out to our sellers to find out when we can get access to the property for photos. And then about 2 to 3 days after we get photos, we set up the walkthrough when we have that MailChimp ad go out, so we can let everybody, you know, get the most, you know, get our best offer on the property. List building, there you go. DA Hub builds for us. So skip trace, cold call text, ringless voicemail. And just so you guys know, RVM is not legal in Florida. So this is all going to be available in the course eventually. Inspection of subject property. So this is for when our buyers walk through, make it a 2-hour window, set a time for all the cash buyers. So, you know, I try and create a sense of urgency. I want the cash buyers to see that I have other buyers interested in the property. So if I have it at a 2-hour window, maybe I'll let them, you know, I'll do 25 minutes or 20 minutes for my first 3 to 4 buyers, and then I'll stagger in 3 to 4 more for another 20 minutes and so on and so on, so I can get them all to see the property. And then, or you can have them all go at once. It's up to you. This is what I wanted to do. Then you can accept best offer. We are now doing it because Cody and Pace, when they were in their dating period, they wouldn't share their cash buyers list. And then, you know, they'd each try and sell a deal that they were working on, and then their buyers would get mad because they both said, well, my buyer said he'd buy it. Well, my buyer said he'd buy it. So they changed it into first one to get EMD into title wins the right to the property, and then close payday, and then work with title to get a notary set out there. And I've realized this last week, just because of COVID and like title companies are like super busy, like our title company out here had somebody quit. So they're a little bit behind. So just make sure that you're in contact with title, because title really does not keep your seller in the loop. So you are the one, that's what I do. And that's what I'm going to have Harold do soon. Just continue to communicate with title on where everything's going. And then your assignment should be wholesale assignment fees. So is that helpful, Brandon?
Brittany, knocked out on cloud 9.
For me.
That was helpful for you? Okay, good. Yeah. We're good. Okay, well,
it was helpful for Brandon too. He just got swallowed by the pillow.
He was just, yeah, he just was blown away. He's speechless now. So I hope that was helpful for everybody. But okay, cool. So Jose, you have your hand raised. Let's get to your question.
Yeah, my question is quick. So when it comes to your buyers, do you guys like do highest and best? Whoever like submit their offers via emails, and you guys start calling highest and best. Is that how you guys do it?
Yeah, it's highest and best. And like when it's neck and neck, like say somebody is like, obviously you want to get the highest and best offer first, but say like two people are at the same offer, like say they're both like, I'll do 200,000. Just because I don't want to play favorites and piss one of them off, just say, hey, because of my partner, our policy is now first one to deposit EMD. So then you're not the bad guy. You blame it on somebody else. Yeah, hey, I wish, but my partner Jose is kind of a dick, and he made us go through this first one who gets EMD in. Same thing if you guys ever have to cancel a contract. So I've had to cancel a few contracts because like they just didn't make sense. The numbers were too high. We couldn't find a buyer. It just there was no cash flow. So you just call your seller and say, hey, you know, Marlon, we really wanted to buy this property, but our lender just is not going to approve this property. Throw the blame on somebody else. You're not the bad guy. It's somebody else. My lender's just not approving this. So I really wanted this property, and I actually had to do this the other day. And the woman's like, so you don't want the property? And I was like, well, I do want the property, but the numbers don't make sense for us, and our lender won't lend to us if we buy it at this purchase price. So she's going to try and sell with somebody else, and we'll come back and get it at a lower assignment fee just because her numbers are outrageous. But cancel it if you have to. And that's why those inspection periods are critical. So great question, Jose.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Pierre, what you got? Oh, go ahead, Jose.
Yeah, so it's because you mentioned about the inspection period. So for you guys to sell the properties quick, are you guys doing the inspection yourselves and then show the inspections to your buyers, or you let them do that?
Oh yeah, it's all on our buyers. We're not inspecting it.
Okay.
We're having that inspection period so we can take photos, and that's so our buyers can walk it when it's like out of state. If we're going to keep the property 100%, we walk it. Anna walks it. Anna goes through and figures out what the price is.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Pierre, you're back. What you got, dude?
Yeah, so just real quick about the dispo. Do you have a timeline? So like, let's say you put it out to your VIP buyers. Okay.
Yes.
First couple hours go, then you put it out to your regular buyers. All right, maybe that doesn't go. All right, let's put it out to maybe a JV situation. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So VIP buyers, I don't have it timed in here. I need to add more to this. My computer crashed when I was making this originally, so I had to redo everything from scratch.
Right.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I give VIP buyers 2 hours to decide because they are my VIP buyers. They get first dibs on everything. And then because it's a timer, it's a shot clock. As soon as you get a property under contract, you only have like 10 days on your inspection period. So, hey, and you're spending your first day getting access to get in there and take photos. Then you got to wait for the photos to come back because actually Matt Beard hires professional photographers, pays them $100 to go take photos of properties. And he's actually had them sell higher because the photos are so nice. So we have a professional photographer go in. If they're in Arizona, we do it, but if it's anywhere else, we have a professional go. And then get those photos back from the professional photographer, upload them into, our little property profile, send that out. And then you want to give your cash buyers about 48 hours to prepare to go and do a walkthrough. You can't just say, hey, walk through tomorrow at 9 a.m. at like 7 p.m. They're like, oh, sorry, dude, I'm going to a different walkthrough. Give your buyers 48 hours to be able to prepare to go to that walkthrough. So yes, there is a timeline, and I can create that and share that with you guys. I'll actually write that down so I can redo my timeline. Any other questions there, Pierre?
Yeah. Well, at what point do you go to maybe like, all right, our buyers are not, maybe we can try to figure out and see if we can JV with, let's say like Keegley or something. Maybe we could expand our resources.
Always creating a sense of urgency, even when I'm talking to my VIP buyers. Hey, I'm sending this out to you, Marlon, but I think this one's going to go fast. I've already actually had some interest in it when we locked it up. So I really want to get you in there first thing on Thursday. What do you think about these photos? Yeah, it's not the right fit for me. Okay, and if I have a bunch of buyers say that they aren't, I'm going to reach out to Keegley as my last ditch effort, just because Keegley, like I said, they have 1,000 buyers every week. And actually, just because we're here in Phoenix, anything like I know Sun City properties are just tricky, and Jamil for some reason always has buyers there. So we just give everything that's in the Sun City area to Jamil. But that's really when like everybody's like, yeah, these numbers don't work. That's really when I look out to JV, but we haven't had to do that much. Atlanta, we did. I hate Atlanta. I really don't like Georgia because it's so funky.
Killing the game, yo. I don't even
Any
think
other
people
questions?
know
Oh,
Dispo
go ahead.
goes this deep.
To who?
I said most people don't even know Dispo goes so deep.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to Dispo. Yeah. But don't overthink it. It's not that complicated. Like I've been focusing on this for the last 2 months. So that's why I know so much. I mean, I didn't know this much when I was on my own. I was dispoing 1 deal a month or 2 deals a month. And I had like 5 cash buyers that I knew were really good. So it's not a problem. Do you have any other questions there, Pierre?
I'll let Brandon go.
Brandon, you figured out the mic situation?
No, I was actually attending to my daughter. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
So I had a quick question. So do you ever go back to the buyer? Say like you said, it gets to the point where you know, the numbers may have been too high. You can't, you know, get a dispo. Do you ever go back to the buyer and come down? I know you guys
100% inside
okay.
that inspection period. Yeah, I blame it on somebody else. Or, you know, maybe the liar lied to us. Maybe the seller lied to us and, you know, they told us, hey, this property's in really good condition. The roof's in great shape. And then we get in there and the roof's got a big old hole in it. And you're just like, that's why you have an inspection period, guys. Brandon, you know, you told us this property had like, didn't have mold and that there were no issues with the roof. But now that we've gotten in here during our inspection period, I mean, we can't buy this property for this. And then you just paint the picture for them. I'm going to have to, now this is going to extend my reno. I have to now, you know, a lot for this in my rehab costs. I don't have to sit on this longer. Like my money's going to be tied up in this property when I could go buy this other property on 123 Main Street that needs less work. I mean, unless you're willing to wiggle with me on price, my lenders are not going to lend to me. And this is going to tie me up from getting into other properties. So yeah, I don't actually do that. I haven't done that yet. I did it on my own. But I haven't done that with the team out here just because we actually have like Nick actually has been calling those when we have to do price drops because he's recording it. But yeah, I haven't done that, but you can do that. I was doing that when I was by myself, when I was wholesaling before I joined the team.
Okay, so when you lock in a contract, so you give that 10-day inspection period, you set that up for the seller to be open for buyers to come in within any time during that 10 days?
No, okay, sorry. Did I cut you off and not like I get excited and talk quickly? So no, I want to try and get it all done within 1 day. Maybe 2 days if necessary. Try and give myself, I want to have an idea and get my buyers ready for that property. It's probably going to be within the first week. So we'll get the photos because it's how often is your seller willing to let you get in there the next day and take photos? It's kind of rare. So that's why you want to have like, if you can get a 14-day inspection period, chef's kiss, you know, do whatever you can. The longer the inspection period, the better. I mean, it's going to vary with each person. Don't even bring up the inspection period when you're talking about your contract. You don't have to, but yeah, within those first five days, I think you want to get your photos.
Because the issue I'm having
Sorry, I
is
was getting a phone call. You're good. I was getting a phone call. I ignored it. Can you guys hear me?
The issue I've been having when it's vacant is, you know, it's easy. You know, we put a lockbox on it, we get in there whenever we want. But when like it has tenants, you know, because I'm still building, you know, the buyer side, and so when I send out the property, I'll get buyers, you know, hit me back, you know, today, next 2 days, next 3 days. So now during the course of the week, they're hitting me at different times and then wanting to inspect instead of, you know, like you just said, setting up. I haven't established where I could just set everybody up on just 1 or 2 days. So
yeah, that's okay. So yeah, so when you have a vacant property, that's nice. With a vacant property, put a lockbox on that puppy. Hey, you can go at any time. When you have tenants in place, I would recommend setting it up for like maybe 1 to 2 days. So if you have one at the beginning, say you get to do an inspection or have your contractors walk through in that first week, great. And then just say, you know, I had some, you know, I just need to be there. It'll just be me. I need like 1 to 2 hours to just let my contractor come in. I have about 3 contractors coming and this is their window that they can. And if you need to get more buyers in the next week, just be like, hey, Brandon, you know, those other contractors that I had in there, their bids are kind of high. Can I come in on Tuesday next week? I have just a few other contractors I'd like to see, or what's a good day next week where I can get some contractors in there? It's Tuesday to do Tuesday or Wednesday work at 3 o'clock. Like, what's a good time for you? So I would, if you have tenants in place, I'd try and work it out that way. And you can always do an addendum, guys, on your contracts. Does everybody know what an addendum is? Yeah, if you don't know what an addendum, it's okay. I actually went over this the other day. The only reason I'm asking because I had it written down on here. So think of this as your contract, okay? Can everybody see it says contract? So it's your original contract and you're saying, we did this, I actually think I did this on the Daily Dial. Your contract and it says our inspection period is 10 days. And yeah, this was on the Daily Dial because Diana asked the question. But their seller was out of town. So they got the contract signed by DocuSign, but the seller was out of town and they couldn't get in there during their inspection period because the seller had the key. You're going to slap on an addendum, which is an extra piece of paper saying you're adding one little change to it. Inspection period starts when I have access to the property. So because that seller was out of town and we didn't have access to the property, that's going to change everything. So you're slapping on another portion of a contract saying, because I can't get in there, the inspection period doesn't start until I can walk the property. Is that how I hope that's helpful for everybody. But yeah, Brandon, I would just say it's going to be a case-by-case basis. Try and get it as organized as you can and start taking action on that, guys. Like I've learned this from failures. Like I've had some things that have like blown up in my face and guess what? I learned from it. So take note of what you did, what was right, and take note of what you did that was wrong, because the things that you mess up on, those are going to stick out in your head the most. So don't be afraid to fail. A big thing, a quote that I heard was, you're not a perfectionist, you're a procrastinator. So guys, go take imperfect action, go mess stuff up and learn from that. I think that's going to help you the most. So there is no secret sauce to getting buyers into properties. There's no secret sauce to getting sellers to let you in. Just go out there and try, give it your best effort, learn, see what works. Like I said, we've changed our buyer script a few times. So it's just an ever evolving business. Everything's evolving, stay on your toes, keep educating yourself. And I think that'll really help you. Is that helpful, Brandon? All right, I'm gonna assume it is helpful. Jose, okay.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Jose, what you got, man?
Yeah, so I built a relationship with a hedge fund, and recently I've been reaching out to other wholesalers to see if I can dispo their deals. So what's the best way to do the contract? Like have them assign me the contract and then take that contract and send it to the hedge fund? Is that the best route to do that?
That is a great question. I have not actually interacted with hedge funds like that myself. What I would do, because I can't give you an accurate answer, do you know who Don Rich is, Jose?
Don Reese?
Don Rich. Don Rich, like money, rich.
Jose, I'll plug you two together. I'll like tag you two.
Yeah,
so you guys
he's the one. So guys, I've been reaching out a lot. I'm learning from Don, because if you guys don't know Don Rich, first of all, who here if you can give me a comment in the chat here, who here has been on the Daily Dial? Just if you've been on the Daily Dial, give me a yes. If you've not been on the Daily Dial, just give me a no, just so I can kind of wait. Yeah, there we go. See who's been on here. Hell yeah. Yes. Okay, so everybody's basically been on here. Jose, I would highly recommend you get on. I think Don will be my closer tomorrow. Come in. It's 5 a.m. my time, so it'll be 7 a.m. your time. And Brandon as well. You guys should get in. It'll be at 7 a.m. I'm going to share my screen again. Gosh, I'm so glad I have the share option. To find the link to the Daily Dial, guys, go to Facebook, go to the announcements, go right here, and you can see here is the 5 a.m. one, which will be 7 a.m. your time. Copy that link and save it into your notes. And this is the West Coast one, which is going to be 7 a.m. my time next week, just so you guys know. So it's a little bit later for you. But Don is generally on the East Coast one. He's in Texas, and he was giving me that gold nugget. Get in on the Daily Dial tomorrow. Don will be there. And at the end of it, we can do a Q&A and you can ask him. Super, it's so, I'm going to put this back on so you guys can see me. Now it's dark out here. I just haven't done a lot with hedge funds just because we're building everything out, but he's selling most of his deals to hedge funds and they're buying between 80 to 85%. I mean, hedge funds will buy much higher just because, guys, inflation's killing the dollar, and it's safer to have your money in property and land than it is in the dollar. So highly recommend that. But great question, Jose. If I had the answer, I'd give it to you, but I'm going to defer that to Don. And his Facebook name is Don Rich, D-O-N, and then the last name is Rich, R-I-C-H. Shoot him a message. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help you. Yeah.
Yo. So I'm actually, wait. We're going to wrap that up, though, because we got to let Caroline get back to her day. Appreciate her coming on. So seriously, Caroline, you came in, you just dropped probably 5 hours worth of knowledge in a matter of 90 minutes, which is insane. So seriously, appreciate you big time. Guys, please make sure you show Caroline some love. Go into the Facebook group tonight And if you appreciate her for coming into the accountability group, let everyone know to shout her out, talk about the biggest takeaway you got, whether it was Dispo, the conveyor belt, going and using hedge funds now, how to train and work with your VAs. Like, make sure you shout her out for whatever that nugget was that you picked up tonight, because she came in and she really does, like, she works like an animal, right? She works hard as hell, and she made time for us today. So I seriously appreciate you big time for this.
Hey, thanks, Marlon. And guys, seriously, thank you for letting me come in here and share with you guys. I mean, like I said, I didn't get started in real estate until last June. So if you guys like start, like, I can't emphasize, like, time blocking has been helpful for me, just because I'm so scatterbrained and I get pulled in like 12 different directions. I'm doing the daily dial. I have to hop on a call with the buyer. I have to hop on a call with the seller. Like, it's hard. I mean, and I'm sure, like with Brandon, you have children. Some of us have kids. You get pulled everywhere. So try and write out what your goals are and your plans. And Marlon's been super helpful for me. So if you guys are interacting with Marlon, like, plan stuff out, see the bigger picture, reverse engineer what you're going to do. And that will help you so much. I mean, writing things out has been great. I thought I could remember stuff. Writing things out and like being able to see it and then plan from there. Oh, so nice. Asana. If you guys don't have Asana, recommend Asana. Assign stuff in there. Asana is great. So thank you guys. If you need anything, shoot me a message. All right. Sal said he'll be there tomorrow. Sal said he'll be there tomorrow. I will see you guys. My tongue is slipping. I've been talking a lot. Blah, blah, blah. I'm drunk on water. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. I will see you guys later. See you in the Daily Dial. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Yo. All right, guys. So that was Caroline. Seriously, like, really give her a shout out. Like, that's the least we can do on Facebook. Show her some appreciation, show her some love for having come in tonight. But, we got another 20 minutes here till 9 o'clock. So before that, I mean, real quick, guys, like, how was that? Do we like having Caroline around? Do we ever want to see her?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, yo, I love it. Yo, that girl's a fireball, and I absolutely love it. So something that we've been wanting to focus on, right? And this is something that Will and Maurice and Caroline and Reese, a few of us have been talking about, really utilizing each other, right? So that conveyor belt theory, start paying attention to it. If you guys haven't already, actually put on paper, put on board or something, right? Like, you guys know, I have my big board over there. Put it somewhere that you have your conveyor belt laid out in front of you, right? And then understand, where is your leaky faucet? Understand where are the roles that you don't want to do. Like, I don't like comping. I freaking hate it. I hate trying to figure out where the number needs to be. I don't want to do it. If someone else can do that for me, I'm happy. So what I've been doing recently, and I'm going to give you guys some insight because it's been working wonders for me. And I mean, like, absolute wonders. About 2 weeks ago, I was still in the same position of, like, everyone else. I need to generate leads. I'm still cold calling. I'm still doing this. I'm everywhere in my business. And after getting the conveyor belt into my brain, I said, screw this. I'm going to figure this out. There's a better way. I'm going to tap into someone else's conveyor belt, because Pace said this. He said, guys, there's 1,000 of you in here, and you're each trying to build 1,000 different conveyor belts. I don't want that for you guys. That's not the purpose of squatting up. I want you all to squat up, and I want 10 of you to get together and build one big conveyor belt. So instead of us having 1,000 conveyor belts, we have 100 strong conveyor belts. And I took that to heart. I was like, all right, dude, this makes a ton of sense. So if anyone saw, I made a Facebook post about 2 weeks back saying, hey, does anybody have an issue right now where they have more leads than they have time to keep up with? Right? A few people reached out.
I wish that was the issue.
Right. Some people, hey, it's an issue for some people, because some people are there where they don't have time or whatever. So they reached out to me, and I've been working with them. So now I'm getting their leads funneled into my business. We're JVing on these deals 50-50, right? They're generating the leads. I'm getting the leads, and their VAs are actually, I'm having their VAs vet the lead, because again, there's 5, I need a piece of paper or something for you guys. There's 5 main seats that I break up the conveyor belt for you guys to pay attention to, or that I pay attention to, right? And this is just taken from Pace. You've got this lead generation piece, right? So the lead generation, this is your VAs, this is your Facebook ad, this is your SEO, your direct mail, whatever the heck it is. That's seat number 1, right? Get that to a VA, get that to whoever, get that to a JV partner. Someone else should be generating your leads. Now, after your lead is generated and it comes in, and someone has officially raised their hand saying, I'm interested in selling a property, right? They're now going to get to your first point of contact. This is seat number 2. This is the person that gets on the phone and says, hey, I know you just spoke to our assistant. So this person's going to qualify that lead for real, for real. Your VA just gets the person to raise their hand. This person is going to qualify the lead and be that first point of contact after a VA, after that initial hand raise, right? That's seat number 2. Seat number 3 is going to be actually analyzing the deal now. So now that this person's qualified and said, all right, there's some motivation, there's something here. Seat number 3 is actually qualifying and comping the property and seeing where we need to lock it up and getting that sort of information. Most people don't even separate seat number 2 and seat number 3. I know I didn't. So separate it. This is its own independent seat. Like Caroline said, she was doing all the comps for their business for a while. The first time I went to Arizona, Cody, that's all he did. He was the guy that ran the comps. When Tino was on the phone with somebody, after he got someone to agree to something, he'd throw it over to Cody. Cody would do the comps and throw it back over to Tino. And that would bring it back over to seat number 4. Seat number 4 is now your closer. This is after we built up a good amount of rapport. We've got the pain. We know where we need to be in the deal. This is where we put the closer on the phone. The closer is different from this person and it's different from this person in most cases, right? So you get the closer on the line, they lock the deal up. And then after that deal is a contract and it's assignable, it's ready to go. You get it to seat number 5, which is what Caroline just broke down to us tonight, is dispo, right? That person's going to go open up escrow. That person's going to see the deal through to the end, right? But recognizing that there are these 5 different seats. Where are you at in your business? What seat doesn't have a person sitting there full time? And what seat do you like to sit in? If you had to pick one of these 5 seats, right? Everyone doesn't want to be the closer. Everyone doesn't want to be the numbers person. Everyone doesn't want to be the first point of contact, right? Someone might actually say, I just want to talk to the cash buyers. I just want to dispo. I like that part. Let me talk to the title. Let me talk to the other real estate professionals. I don't want to talk to somebody that feels like an enemy. I want to talk to somebody that wants to talk to me. So figure out what that looks like for you. Figure out what role you look like, and then plug in to somebody else's conveyor belt. Me personally, I like seat number 4. I like getting on the phone and closing people, and I like seat number 2. Seat 2 and 4, let me talk to you and build rapport, and then let me close you. I don't like seat 3. I don't like seat 5, and I damn sure don't like seat 1. So I've been plugging myself into other people's businesses, and they've been plugging into me. That's my business. They've been pulling themselves into conveyor belt seat number 1 for me. I've been plugging into seat number 4 for them. They get a VA to plug in for seat number 2. They themselves plug in for seat number 3 because they like to do the numbers. And then together we'll work on seat number 5, right? So I've now gotten to a place where for the last 2 weeks, I've had an astronomical amount of leads, locked up a contract yesterday, just everything's flowing in from simply changing the way I looked at things and reanalyzing how the business can and should be done based off the conveyor belt theory. So let's leverage each other here and understand based on these seats, where you are in your business, what seat you need filled right now. And let's see if we might not find some matches here today. So the way I suggest we go about that, if anyone cares to hear, is
Hey,
what's up,
I'm sorry,
Shad?
I have to while you're breaking all of that down. So one of the things that I need some clarity on, and I'm not sure if you or anyone else can provide it, is I'm trying to understand how the actual numbers in that business model works. Does everyone take like an equal percentage of the deal? Like, how are you actually compensating with that many people being a part of the conveyor belt that's not getting paid an hourly wage?
Great question. And that would honestly, it depends, right? So are we doing something like that where it's like 5 bosses in different seats? Or like right now, what I'm doing is 2 bosses in 2 different seats in a business. And then everyone else in the business is of an employee mindset. So I'm going in 50-50 with someone because what I'm doing is I'm coming in to lock up the deals. So they're generating all the leads and they have to understand the market and they can go out and do things. They just don't have the time to actually get on the phone and follow up with all these hot leads that they're generating. So I'm getting on, I'm generating, I'm putting it on the, or I'm locking it up on the contract or continuing that conversation and we're splitting it 50-50. So there are 2 of us in there that are entrepreneurial mindset, right? You can plug someone into these seats that don't need entrepreneurial mindset. Like that person can go and hire an acquisitions individual, but that would involve them taking the time to go and hire that out, to go train that person. So they're happy to find someone that's already trained at this, understands creative finance, understands the way they think and all that good stuff, and that they can trust immediately. So for that, there's value in that, and it's a 50-50 value. If we're talking about something here where, let's say it's me, you, Jose, and Katrina, all of us want to squat up on one conveyor belt, well, that would be a conversation that the four of us would sit down and have and say, all right, well, what do we think each person brings to the table and what's that worth? You know, maybe Jose is like, yo, I just want to generate leads for you guys all day and I'm cool taking 10% of whatever. I'm just going to turn on this lead generating machine. You guys could do whatever you want, pick out from the leads all day long. And when you close stuff, throw me back 10%.
Yeah, I mean, Shai, listen, your question's valid, but it also depends on how much inventory and business you want to do, right? So if you want to do one a month, I think you can handle, you know, two or three out of the five, and then hire VA for leads and maybe a realtor to dispo, you know?
Yeah.
So, but if you're saying I want to do five, then five's a lot of work, but you know, you might only be able to do one. You might only be the one that's negotiating, and then you have to, like you say, get Marlon. But if you're doing five, even if you're wholesaling, right? Not fixing and flipping, if you're just wholesaling 10 grand, that's 50 grand. I don't think you're going to have, you know, more than 5,000, 6,000 overhead. So, you know, you got $44,000 that you can split with Marlon, you know? So it depends on how many deals you want to do. And if, like you said, if you want to do one or two, you can probably handle it with mostly VA and maybe a part-time partner. You know, you can get a part-time partner. Jose's like, listen, I want a JV with you, but I can only put in maybe 10, 15 hours a week.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yep. So, and no, that's big.
Oh, I have a question.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Marlon.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, you know, and like Sal just hit the nail right there on the head. You know, it's like the idea of just like you're gonna be splitting something with splitting the work too with somebody, and that's gonna be a lot of stress relief off your plate. So there's gonna you're gonna realize after you start doing it, it's gonna be like, oh wow, like right now, that's how I feel right now. Like lead gen is not an issue. I'm like, holy crap, like I don't need to worry about this right now. Hell yeah, this is amazing. Right. And on their end, they're like, oh my God, I don't need to stress that a lead just came into my system and I'm out running on an appointment and I'm worrying about the kids and I'm worrying about this, that, and the third. And I know my lead's being touched right now by someone that understands what they're doing. Holy crap, that's amazing. So for each person, it's even more value than it may seem up front.
So Marlon.
Hello. What's good, Desmond?
I have a question here. With that arrangement that you just talked about being that closer role, are you doing this with multiple people or just one person?
Yeah, so I'm doing this with multiple people. I am.
Okay.
I'm plugged into different people.
And are you doing like not just the role number 4, which is the closing, but you're also doing the qualifying as well? They're just passing on the lead from the VA cold caller, and you're doing the qualifying and the closing at the same time.
So yeah, I'm doing mostly role number 4, a bit of role number 2. If it seems worthwhile enough after the initial conversation that the cold caller may have had. But I explained to them, if you really want to get the best and highest use of me, throw me in role number 4. Right? Comp the and like I have a conversation with each individual to see where they're at with their business, because I've had people that, you know, want to essentially have me do this with them, and I listen to where they're at in their business, and I'm like, okay, you know what, it doesn't make sense for me and you to work together. This would be bad for me. It'd be good for them, it'd be bad for me. And ultimately you want to have a relationship that is sustainable. So if I could already spot something in it that's going to burn me out, I'm like, you know what, this isn't good, because essentially I would run into the same problem or the same issue that the No Excuses program ran into when Nick, Tino, and Caroline were calling these crap leads that people were submitting, and it was just burning them out because essentially it was crap leads. So getting it to the point where these people are filtering through, and like even one person, I was helping her to train her VA so that they can be moved into a VA manager and a lead manager and do that first level filtering.
Okay, so basically, if you just in that role number 4, when you get that lead from your whoever the person is that is in charge of that conveyor belt, they're also giving you that by number as well?
Yep. So I tell them to the best of their ability, send that lead over with a buy number as well. Some cases they can't get to it, I'll still get on the phone with them, but I told them try and figure that out as soon as possible.
Okay.
And again, this is all a conversation that I have with them beforehand too. So we go over, we lay out the conveyor belt, and then I ask them where do they need help in their conveyor belt. So I have some people that come to me that they need help with person number 3 in the conveyor belt. And I tell them very straightforward, that's not me, but good that you understand where your weakness is in your personal conveyor belt so you can find somebody. So I think everyone should go through the exercise of looking at their own conveyor belt, seeing what's weak, and then combining with someone else's conveyor belt who's strong. Ride each other's conveyor belt for a decent amount of time so you build up your own resources so that you both could then outsource out of each other's conveyor belts. And at that point, split and have separate conveyor belts.
But initially, when you did post that, made that post to attract those people, you're basically letting them know what type of role you would be willing to help out on, in this case being the closer.
Exactly. So I put that out to see who had a need for it. So I essentially asked who has this pain because I have this product. So it was a commercial in the sense to a very specific type of person right now. But I wanted to find the person whose pain was, hey, I have more leads than I can keep up with, or hey, I'm having trouble closing my leads. And that's what because I was saying that's the role I can fill for them. That's where I can provide them with value.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And I think Tanisha, you had a question, right? Or you were about to say something?
I think it was answered.
Oh, cool. So guys, definitely make sure you're plugging into each other's conveyor belts. I would say first, take a moment to sit down and analyze your own conveyor belt. If you need any help with that, jump on a call with me or like hit me up offline. I'll absolutely love to sit down and go through it with anybody just because I absolutely love the conveyor belt theory. But leverage each other, right? If we really take a look at what's going on out there in Arizona, this is what Pace and them are doing. So although Pace has Caroline working his dispo, he also relies heavily on Jamil and Keegley. So Keegley, if you think about it, all that is a giant business around seat number 5, right? And then VA Hub, although he owns it, granted he owns it, VA Hub is another business that is solely focused on seat number 1, right? So just think about where can you find a resource to tackle each seat for your conveyor belt. And if it means not having it in your own business yet and you hire someone else's business to come in and do it for you, that's something you can do. What's good, Sal?
I've been investing for a while, and for the last month, I'm a one-man kind of guy. I do the business myself, but I know that you need a conveyor belt. I always knew that. I just didn't know exact the way Pace taught it. I have a problem giving up those seats, even though I know I'm not supposed to be doing the leads, not supposed to do the follow-up. I know that to grow, you can't do all 5, 6 positions. How do we get rid of the closing part? I think that's the most important, right? 4 and 5, the most, or 3 and 4, whatever number. How do you get rid of that role where like this guy, you're giving it to an acquisition, but he's not as good in numbers as you think that you are. How do you get rid of that role?
Great question, Sal. And that's exactly why, like the closer and the person that analyzes the deal are 2 completely separate seats. Because now you might have a guy that's he's able to communicate with people. He can get them there emotionally and all that good stuff. And as long as he knows where you need to lock something up, he could go do it. But as far as figuring it out for himself, he has no clue how to figure that stuff out. Right?
Yeah, I'm probably really good at underwriting. I know how to analyze a deal, how to close it. People come up to me like, "Oh, I don't think there's a deal." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "I can make that same deal. I can make $100,000 out of that deal." So I can write things all day long. I can close them. I can do leads. I can do all that. But I know I have to get rid of that VA first call. It's impossible. There's no way that I can handle, calling 40 people a day or 40, contacts a day. That's the thing I was talking about earlier about getting a VA. So I'm in the process of getting those VAs. Maybe the follow-up, I'll let someone else do that too. And then once they say, "Hey, listen, we really got something here, you need to underwrite it," I might just stay in that position and then find a realtor to dispo it, So eventually I want to get out of that role too, but is that feeling, how do you give up everything? How do you give up everything to get your free time and find that one person who is you?
You know what it is? It's understanding that you don't do things as great as you think you do things. That like it's like it's for all of us. It's like it's understanding we're not as awesome as we think we are. Because that's how I felt about like cold calling. I was like, well, but I got this gift where I can get on the phone with someone and I can unlock the deal. It's like, yes, man. We let someone do something for 8 hours a day nonstop for the next 20, 30, 40 days. Guess what? Even if they suck at it, they're still going to outperform you just because they're putting in way more repetition. They're getting way more shots.
Yeah, good point, man. Good point.
So it's like that's been going through my head, like this idea that it's a numbers game, and it's being proven true as we speak. That's the only reason like I'm so adamant about it right now and I'm getting hyped up, because I'm implementing it. I'm applying it right now. And I literally watched my business turn over overnight. Like I went from looking at my Podio being upset that I had to call these people. I really got to call. Like, but this is all I got. Like I got to work what I got. To now where I'm like, holy crap. I'm ticking through. Like I draw this out and I just cross off all the like quality leads I get to have. This is just in the past few days. And I've spoken to like over 60 quality leads, like quality people want to sell, want to talk, have already expressed their hand and raised that I want to sell my property.
Exactly. Listen, I told Shai the other day, I said I had a deal where I was trying to dispo it and I was having a hard time dispoing it. And I stopped everything. I stopped calling, following up. The whole front end of the conveyor belt was shut down just so I can dispo one thing. And if I had that really, you get a superstar realtor, she can do all that work for you. She can do all that dispo. So that was a mistake I did. It took me like 3 weeks to sell this deal. And I just like shut my whole business down just to sell one deal, which is crazy. If you think about a conveyor belt just completely stopped, that's a crazy business idea. Crazy. So
yeah. I mean, the sooner we really absorb that like as a fact, as like a very cold fact that your conveyor belt should never, ever, ever turn off, and that you need to outsource sooner than you think, right? Like I had a conversation, Reese got on the phone with me the other night and like broke it into my brain for about 2 hours. Like, dude, you need to hire before you need it. I got onto a call with Shireen a few months ago. You need to hire before you need it. Dustin told me you need to hire before you need it. Everyone has told it to me. So I'm finally getting it into my head. So I recommend the same thing to you guys, like outsource before you think you need to outsource. Because when you finally do need to outsource, it is already too late.
Okay, Malon, I have a question on that again.
Yep.
All right, so I'm with you on the idea of plugging into someone else's conveyor belt in the same role that you have in that number 4 role. And I'm thinking, is it just as simple as they give you that buy number, you get on the phone and you try to make a deal out of it? I mean, are you structuring the deal? Are you analyzing it? Are you doing other things other than just, hey, I'm just gonna try and lock this deal up at that buy number that they send over to me? Because what if it's, it turns out that it's not maybe a cash wholesale type deal and you might have to work it into some kind of creative deal or something like that. That's your responsibility as well, right?
Right, and that's why I'm sitting in seat number 4, because I already understand creative.
Mm-hmm. So right.
We need to go. I mean, we all know wholesale first, or for anyone that's hasn't been listening to anything we've said in the past, every conversation starts off as a wholesale conversation. I know you get this, Desmond. I'm just saying for anyone else that doesn't know this, every conversation starts off as wholesale. It's almost like creative finance doesn't exist unless the person really makes it clear that if you offer me something stupid, I will hang up the phone and never pick up again, in which case go ahead and start talking terms. But 90% of the times we're talking cash offer first. If the cash offer doesn't take, then I will turn it into a creative conversation on the phone with them if they've indicated enough pain. If they still need to sell and they refuse to go with a real estate agent for whatever reason, then we will go creative.
Okay, and I know you just mentioned about a deal that you just recently did, and even I think you closed on that deal, I guess. But did you play any part in the disposing of that deal?
No, so I mean, I had the conversation with them very upfront, like, hey, I'll lock this up, and when you dispo it, if you're able to dispo it straight, we split it 50-50. If we need to, JV to dispo it, then, whatever the JV, like we will split, we're going 50-50 on whatever your side produces net. So whatever my JV partner gets net, we're going to split that 50-50. So if he's able to dispo it or she's able to dispo it on their own, then great. But if they've got to like plug into another investor as well to get it dispoed, and now they're splitting it with another person, like let's say 60-40, then we're going to take that 60 and we're going to cut that in half. So then I'll get 50-50 of that 60. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I guess, but you yourself, you're not working on the dispo side. In other words, you're just leaving it up to them to get it sold after.
Not unless they need help. If they express to me that like they've got it locked up, like right now, like the deal we got on the contract yesterday, he's already told me cash, he's already set the lot box up. Cash buyers are gonna go check it out in the next day or two. And we're all good on that end. Now, if he came back to me and says like, yo, I don't know what to do with this, I'm struggling, I'm freaking out, then I will jump in because I still am incentivized to want to get that deal done because that's my money.
Right, and that's why I'm asking that question, because how do you, if you're working with someone in that role, that number 4 role on their conveyor belt, you would have to be fairly confident that they have a good dispo arm where you know that is always going to work out to be a 50-50 situation and not cutting you down because they have to use someone else to dispo, and then that cuts into your profit.
Right. And that's exactly why I have them take care of seat number 3, which is deal analysis.
Okay.
Now they're doing the deal analysis. They should have an understanding of their market and where it needs to be in order to sell. So it's like, that's why, and by me alleviating the pressure from seat number 4 and sometimes seat number 2, I've given them the time to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Oh, Sal, you dipping out, man? Later, Sal. Appreciate you, man. Catch you in the morning. All right, Jose, you got a question, bro?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, when you guys are building your conveyor belt, like I said it in the past, like I had my kids involved. If you got kids, if you have family members involved. So like I have my 11-year-old daughter, like I showed her how to comp. Yo, she could comp like a beast. She's 11 years old. And I have her, you know what I recently showed her? I showed her how to find me buyers, cash buyers, right? My 8-year-old, I showed him, like the last time I had a conversation with you guys, it was like, I think 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I mentioned this, but my daughter, she didn't know how to find cash buyers, right? Now she could find cash buyers for me. So I also said in the past that I taught my 8-year-old how to skip trace, right? So he's 9 years old now, and I just had him skip trace a buyer's list, right? And I showed him how to go into a website and find the buyers for me. Watch this. Marcos, come here, Marcos. Watch this. Come here. These are my friends. Say hi.
What's up, dude?
How many people did you find? How many buyers you found later? An approximate amount in, say where, what area I told you to find buyers for me?
Newark, New Jersey.
Okay. How many you think you did? How many think you found?
I think I found about 20.
20. Tomorrow morning when I get to my job, I'm gonna call all of them.
Nice. Yo, good job, Marcos.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
So he's 11 years old. So, yo, I'm building little ninjas. Little ninjas. So you gotta have people to help you, because I remember when I was like, when I started, you cold calling, following up, you have to run comps, you have to skip trace. Yo, it's crazy. I mean, your head wants to blow up. I was there. Like I was blowing up. So now what I'm trying to focus is on the follow-up. I'm talking to other wholesalers or reaching out to wholesalers. I'm trying to like provide the value to them and whatever I can help them. I try to find wholesalers that know what they're doing, that know how to run comps. But if someone's having trouble to run comps, I say, hey, we go work on that together. But I don't want to really work with people that don't know how to run comps. But what if he can find the leads and don't know how to run comps? I'll help him. You know what I mean? So when you're building your conveyor belt and you have someone to help you around you, or any family member, it helps out. But it's not easy. It's not easy because you have to dedicate that time, just like when you dedicate to the VA. It's the same thing, but it's worth it because you get to breathe afterwards.
Big time.
All right, Marlon, one other question, Marlon.
Let's get it, Desmond.
All right, so again, talking about your situation, when those leads come to you, does it come as a set appointment where you have a specific time to call that person because that appointment was set with that qualifier?
Sometimes. So sometimes I tell them, like, if there's a certain time you want me to give them a call, I tell them, text me, right? Like if it's a super hot lead and you want me to talk to them right now, text me, right? That way I stop what I'm doing and I go to that lead right away. Aside from that, I just tell them, put it in Podio and then give me a task. I just make it Podio, because that's how I navigate my Podio personally. Right? I just navigate it purely by task. Whatever task is there, that's how I follow it. So if something's not assigned as a task, I might miss it.
All right. Now, so do you know specifically, because I know different people, I guess, explain it differently, but that second box, so to speak, the qualifier, I mean, do you know exactly what that person is doing?
Yeah. So that person is, let's imagine your VA code called, somebody says like, hey, they're interested in selling, and they got the 4 pillars, right? They got your condition, motivation, time, and price, right? Mm-hmm. And now they say, okay, great, somebody's going to call you back, like in the next 24 to 48 hours with an offer, right? Seat number 2 is that person calling back. Now, seat number 2, when they call back, they're not giving an offer. They're just really qualifying this lead again. They're making sure that this person actually wants to sell. If somebody won't stand up to a second conversation, guess what? They're really not that motivated. You really don't want to be wasting your time. They might be a tire kicker. They might just be curious to get a number so they could go shop it around, right? So we don't want to really waste our time with that because we have more important tasks to do. That's not really yet a money-making activity, right? Or that person might need more nurturing, right? Mm-hmm. So you could take on that job. Like that job does need to be done, but it doesn't necessarily need to be done by somebody that really fully fledged understands how to lock up a deal. Now, some people might not have the confidence to close the deal yet, which is completely acceptable. I know I was at that place where like I would lack the confidence to close my own deals, but I wouldn't mind talking to someone and gathering the information. Essentially, seat number 2 is gathering information and more so gathering motivation and pain.
All right. So you yourself wouldn't mind if that lead comes to you and you actually have to do that role number 2 as well as the role number 4. That's not in other words, then it's not a deal breaker for you where if you have to do it, you're gonna be upset that, hey, why am I doing this?
I won't be upset, but I just know that I can be sitting in seat number 4 closing deals. So I'd rather spend my time there. It's kind of like I won't be upset. Oh, I will be upset now if I have to cold call. Like that's just done.
Right.
But yeah, no. If I had to be in seat number 2 because we weren't quite sure yet, or the person really isn't quite ready for seat number 4, but they are still somewhat of a lead. Yeah, I got no problem talking to that person.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah. Any other questions?
Not for me. I'm good.
All right, and let's not forget that Katrina broke up with that punk ass boyfriend. Yeah, I'm trying to shout that out again.
Wait, what? Where did that come from?
Oh, you didn't know Katrina's back on the market, yo.
You wild.
You.
Yeah, we got to get that back out there. But we'll go into that on next week's call. We'll definitely dive into Katrina's love life a little bit more.
We can have a conversation about it though.
There we go. So, but guys, on the real, seriously, I do want everyone to take that exercise into account and really focus on what your conveyor belt looks like currently, right? Get an understanding of what seats might need to be filled, figure out if you need a JV partner for it, or figure out if you can just, hey, maybe this is something I hire a VA for, right? But just start getting that locked in and make the sacrifice to make it happen no matter what. And I tell you, I'm literally preaching from the top of the mountain right now. It will change your life. I am freaking loving real estate even more right now because I get to do the job that I want to do, and it makes a difference.
So, okay, one other question, Marlon, on that. If you are doing, and you seem to be kind of, rounding out in that goal number 4 fairly, I guess fairly well at this point, and successfully and maybe going forward as well. You might want to continue that. But do you see yourself then using? I don't know if you have any VAs, because I know you talk about hire before you need them and so forth. But do you have any VAs in your system that is helping you with any of the closer role that you are playing for these other people?
Yeah, man. So good question. Right as of right now, no, it's me. So anyone that gets me and is working with me is getting me directly. And again, that's another. So like, I'm filling in the seat, right? People understand who I am already because I've interacted with enough people in Sub 2. People have seen me talk to sellers. People have seen me do different things. So I've already built credibility in that field. So that's another reason why they're allowing me to sit in to what most consider like an important role in their business, seat number 4. So right now they're essentially picking me, like as they choose something, they're choosing Marlon as because they know who I am already. I've already proven myself and shown myself to them. As time goes on, I probably will have some I will have VAs helping me out. Those VAs will be trained by me, and those VAs will understand to communicate the way that I need them to communicate. So they will be like assassins on the phone.
So you expect them again to be those VAs, of course, your VAs that you're paying for too. And if you in that same closer role, are they filling in your shoe at some point, or what are you going to be having them do, those VAs, to support you?
Absolutely. In the future, they will eventually. The end goal is they will be filling into my shoes. At the end goal, my entire business will be totally like not needing me. Right. I'm going to be pulling myself out of my business at the end of the day for sure. As of right now, what I will be having them do is they will be essentially taking on those lead number 2s. Right. So let's say a lead gets pushed into seat number 4 because somebody thought this person was ready for seat number 4, and then I get on the phone with them and they're not quite ready yet. Does that mean I toss them? No way. They get thrown back to seat number 2 because they need to be nurtured a little bit more. They need to be put back into the oven. So now, as my VAs are learning, my VAs are going to be handling seat number 2 again, right? They're going to be working that person and molding them, right? Keeping that person alive. And then when they're ready again to pop, they can either get closed up by my VA at that point, or they would get closed by me. And then in the meanwhile, my VA will also be handling other tasks associated with the business that you start to be able to recognize. And this is something I'm sharing with you guys, like live experience as I'm getting it. So, I'm learning this as I'm going, as I'm freeing up space and I'm being less stressed from my business. I'm now seeing different things that I couldn't see because I was so caught on the ground level. So I'm still not, in the bird's eye view box yet, but I am a few floors higher. And from this higher vantage point, I'm seeing, okay, you know what, my own personal data for my own marketing needs to be cleaned up. Even how I'm reaching out and talking to individuals to create JV opportunities, that can be done with a VA. And then essentially, there's just like so many little nuances that can be done, that like little things that VA can take on, that I'm starting to see now because I have that like breathing room.
Okay, so right now, as it stands, without that VA, or to support you, if you get a lead from, again, one of your partners, that you get on the phone with them, and perhaps, like you just said, yeah, this person is really not, they're not even qualified, they're not ready yet. Are you gonna then massage that deal over time, or are you sending it back to them and say, hey, try and call this person again or something like that? Or are you going to take that responsibility and keep following up with that person?
It depends on the lead. So I have had people where I literally shoot it back to them and I say, this person's not ready. Like put them back in your campaign, put them back in like your drip, right? This person needs another 6 months, right? If someone's more than 90 days out, I'll pretty much like throw them back in unless it's like this person's 90 days out, but they're like a strong 90 days out where, okay, they don't need to go back into like the hopper, but they do need to go back to seat number 2. And then in which case I'll keep them on seat number 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great questions, man. Seriously, good questions.
Thanks. No problem. That's it for me.
Awesome. So, if no one else has any, does anyone else have anything less they want to ask? And then we'll get this wrapped up in the next 5 minutes or so.
I got a question.
AKA Queen.
Hey. So really quickly, is there anybody on a call that's like not an expert, but like kind of like experienced, should I say, with Podio? Because I'm trying to figure out how I can add people into a workspace without them seeing like everything happening in my workspace.
I can send you a
Pierre's good with that.
Oh, okay, cool beans. I'm gonna reach out to you, Pierre. Pierre always come through with that secret info.
Facts, yeah, Pierre be lurking with the knowledge.
Yep, that's all I needed. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. All right, sounds like we're all good. All right, so next week when we get back in here, I want everyone to have had analyzed their conveyor belt for their own personal business, understand what you're missing, and come back with at least 3 potential solutions for filling the missing spots on your conveyor belt. Does everyone think they can do that? Matter of fact, I don't even want to let it rely on your memory. If you're on your cell phone, put it in your notepads right now. If you have a piece of paper, write it down that next week, you're going to come back here with your conveyor belt, with knowledge of what your conveyor belt looks like for your business personally, what's missing from it or what's lacking on your conveyor belt, where's the backup on your conveyor belt, and 3 solutions that you've thought of to fix that. And if you have trouble, if you come back and you don't have those 3, all that shows me is you did not plug in to your community, because there are so many people that will help you solve that, right? If you have any issue figuring it out on your own, talk to somebody else. Talk to somebody outside of yourself who will have a bird's eye view on your situation and can answer objectively. That's what we're here for. That's why we leverage each other. But on that note, let's wrap it up. If anyone needs anything from me or has any more questions, reach me offline, feel free. And if you didn't already, go give Caroline some love. That girl really came in here and poured out her soul to us and is just like opening up the guts of Pace Morby's like business, which is insane. And Pace already opens up so much, but like we're getting an even deeper insight to what's going on there. So show some love for that. So on that note, appreciate you guys. And I'll catch you all next week.
Bye.
All right. Thanks a lot, Marlon. Appreciate it.
Peace,
Later.
man.
See ya. Bye.